gentlemen. This is what y'all wanted. This is what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted me here tonight. So many messages. I didn't want to say no. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Look at the horrible YouTube chatter people. Yeah, cut the music. Just cut the damn music at this point. You people are horrible. Hold on. Yeah, y'all wanted me here. I told you I couldn't speak tonight. I was like, they're like, no, you could do it, Chaz. You could do it. I tried to tell you, no, it's not the case. I'm not lying. Like, we can't speak. This is the voice y'all are going to receive today. This is also why I thought it would be good to have a call-in show the entire time, because I'm incapable of speaking for 45 minutes straight. My voice left the other night. We had our all-nighter, if you tuned into it. We had our all-nighter. Then I woke up at 1 o'clock the next day. Oh, it was bad. We had some girls come over. It lasted late. Wake up at 1 o'clock. Tell the girl to leave. And then, like, right as the girl shuts the door, my sister calls. And then, we got to go to combo. I'm like, I can't breathe right now. I'm dying. She sucked the soul out of me. Can you not tell? Oh, we're going. So we went. To Cotton Bowl. And that was yesterday. And then we drove all the way back. And this is what we got, guys. This is the Chaz here tonight. And by the way, I don't know, is this my best Ricky Stenhouse Jr. impression? Or what you gonna do, brother? That's it. Step into a Slim Jim. Can we do that? I'm not sure. Bro, you got COVID. There ain't no such thing. Never mind. I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that in public. Can't say that in public, technically. But anyway, there was no girl. I'm just kidding. We do have things to talk about, right? I mean, I guess. Oh, God. This is the Rapid Fire Show. We are accepting calls as they come in. Rapid Fire Rambo mode. Wide open all night long. The live caller number is 423-616-7673. And we have our first caller in. Who has called the damn show? We're just calling and going.
William from California.
Oh, my God. What, why? Why? What do you want to talk about? Tell me. There's people already calling. We got to get more than one in. Come on, continue.
Okay. Slow down, man. All right, so I have to admit, I was wrong about Larson. He won 2 out of 3. I said he wasn't going to win anything.
He should have won 3 out of 3 if it wasn't for that jackass Sam Mayer.
Yeah, that's true.
Look,
I can't.
Look, when it comes to Kyle running our late models or sprint cars or whatever, I'm not a Kyle. I don't think he's that much better than our guys. But when it comes to NASCAR racing, there ain't too many guys over there as good as Kyle. There just isn't. There just isn't.
He got a little help from his teammate. You know, he kind of banged the wall 100 yards before Larson got to him. So said, hey, come on, pulled over, like team orders or something.
Yeah, but I don't think he needs team orders to win in NASCAR. I mean,
I agree.
Kyle is him, Bell, a few others. They're just next level compared to the majority of the field. There's maybe 4 guys that can beat Kyle over there, maybe. Whereas you get on the dirt, I think there's like, if you consider like the super late model and the sprint car world, there's probably 15 or 20. Probably 12 of those are super late model guys. But Kyle Larson's one of the best race car drivers in world history. We'll say that. One of, not the one of, but he's a sprint car driver. So, Kyle Larson is a dirt sprint car driver, so I don't really look at our sprint car field as being that bad when Kyle can win a lot and maybe only gravel and sweet win. Or another guy or one of our stars, but he's just an elite. I feel like I'm RFK tonight with this voice, by the way.
Well, by the way, at Paris Speedway, I guess the California contingent decided to not show up. Sanders, Golovic, Brooks, they all went to Placerville, I think, because they weren't at Paris. And here's another thing about Paris. It took 20 laps under yellow before they had to stop the damn race to put fuel in the cars, and they still ain't got one lap down.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what a joke.
So you're mad. You're mad at the high limit race.
Well, it reminded me of a narc show.
And that's bad.
Yes.
Somebody said the track took rubber in qualifying.
Yes, but they redid the track right before the feature, and they wasted it spinning out and crashing and flipping before they even get one lap in.
Was that
so
team?
By the time they could get a green flag run, the track was gone.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the World of Outlaws, they come into these facilities and they tell the track what they fucking want. And if they don't get it, they got problems. They won't even put cars on the track. It does seem like high limits a little bit lax in that department. I heard it was blowing dust at on the hot laps at Paris. I don't think the World of Outlaws would allow their series to race. They had that Riverside issue where they canceled early, but it was because of the facilities agreements and things they said they were going to do before the Outlaws came there. The Outlaws have a certain standard that they hold these tracks to. It does seem like that standard is lessened with high limit, but that's kind of the funny thing I've heard with the Outlaw group of people. They were saying Brad was one of the biggest bitchers on the Outlaw tour if a track wasn't safe or perfect or prepped correctly or any of these things, especially when it came to safety. And then they see him as somewhat of a two-faced hypocrite when they're willing to go to some of these tracks that aren't so safety-oriented. Or they'll go to a Paris where they ain't even fucking touched the track before hot laps and they put a car on it. I mean, I think the Outlaws would have canceled if that was the hot lap track they received.
I agree.
So,
but I guess, like I said, Sanders, Golovic, and some of the others.
Well,
didn't even attempt
Sanders I don't know what I ain't trying to be mean to Justin Sanders, but it was fucking horrible. The representation he did for the state of California as a defending NARC champion. It was probably one of the worst showings by a NARC champion when the national tours came in. And it wasn't even the Outlaws. It was high limit. You would have thought top 5 automatic for Justin. Potentially a winner. And he didn't make an A main except Tulare, right?
Correct.
That's the bigger story. I mean, Tanner Holmes. Yeah, but Tanner Holmes is a huge story by coming out in top 5 every night. Almost won the race without a flat tire last night. But
yeah,
I mean, he was a contender.
True.
And that's really
But
hurting
he's from
Broke Joe.
California.
Broke Joe has to be pissing in a bucket because Tanner Holmes came out and showed up in this 21 Tarleton experiment. And I think it's good for Tanner. Outside of Bobby Allen and the Shark Racing team, which they're running 1992 setups or whatever, I don't think Tanner's ever been in a car when it's properly prepared by modern technology with or modern mind thinking. You know, it's been him and his family.
His sister.
Go ahead. What?
Including his sister.
Right. So his sister and his family and him set up the cars, and you know, he's never been in a situation, I don't think, where he's got opportunity to just get in a car and all he has to worry about is driving. You know, and this is showing, I think, the potential that he has as a driver with the right opportunity. You know?
Well, we're going to find out. It's only the...
What do you mean we're going to find out? Look what he's done.
Yeah, that's one race, man. Come on.
He ran top 5 in every high limit race until that point.
Okay, that's only been a couple races.
So what?
All right?
He's got consistency and he's throwing sliders with Aaron Reitzel at Paris.
Well,
what do you need to see?
Burn up he burned up his tire before Reitzel did.
Okay. And?
You know, but there was no tread left on any of Reitzel's tires, front and rear, when he stopped on the front straight.
Oh, it was horrible.
After the
horrible. Absolutely horrible track conditions. Like I said, I think that is High Limit's fault for not holding the track to a certain standard.
I agree, but wouldn't you think, I mean, when was the last time you saw a national touring series can't get a race started and it takes 20 laps and they got to have a fuel stop before they can get one lap in?
It shows they got a lot of amateurs in their field. That's what it shows. It shows what I've been saying, that high limit up front, in the middle, and at the back is amateur compared to the Outlaws. They just are.
Yes, that's why, well, we disagree on this, but that's why I think Larson does so well. Because he's a professional, now he's racing against all these amateurs.
Yeah, Larson's only challenged on the Outlaw Tour. If Larson's not on the Outlaw Tour, the Outlaws ain't in town, he's not actually getting challenged.
Hey, by the way, I think somebody said that David Gravel won 5 straight features. Is that true?
No, that's wrong.
Okay, all right.
2 straight.
Okay, that's good, because I was going to say that if that's true, it's going to be the David Gravel, celebration all year.
Gravel Daddy. That's his new nickname to me. Gravel Daddy.
Gravel Daddy.
Imagine Johnny Gibson saying that. Out of turn 4, here he comes. Gravel Daddy, David Gravel. There it is. Sounds good.
Well, he could probably, you should
hold on. Maybe his a better nickname is like the Connecticut Cum Shot. Here he comes, David Gravel. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, the inner spike came out in me. The raspy voice.
Yeah, man, you really messed up.
Well, I'm hoping for a super chat so we can afford to go to the doctor, but nobody's going to send one. I get it. It's fine.
Wow. Is this from Swap and Spit drinking beers the other day?
With the black chick? Don't be blaming her, okay?
No, the 305 guy. You guys were doing a beer tasting or something.
I think we drank the wrong beer, yes. Yeah, it must be the water. The water from Mexico. The water from Mexico and the beer. That's what it was.
Because you said it was all Mexican beers, right?
Yes.
Hey, Call Broke Joe and find
Okay.
out what happened to Sanders.
Okay. We will get off the phone with you and find out. We need to know. Broke Joe, where you at?
Thanks for taking my call.
No problem. There you had it. California's already checked in. By the way, look at this hat. Oh, we got the light still going. Music's over here. Oh my God. Hold on. Okay, we turned her down. I think. Where's it at? Oh God. There's too many things. I got too many things going. This hat is clean as fuck, by the way. This Long Live the Chaz white black edition. Oh my God, this hat. Look. I gotta show y'all this. First of all, I know this is odd. I shouldn't even be saying this, but I want to thank all of the people. I can't even say it. This is bad. I want to thank all the people who have already purchased their Ginger Kitty wear. We are on longlivethechaz.com right now. The Larsonite shirt, the Broke Joe shirt's on there. The Dirt Track State of Mind throwback gear. Dirt Track State of Mind hats. Free the Chaz. And then there it is, the Ginger Kitty. The Ginger Kitty shirt has been a hot seller, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that thing on Long Live the Chaz. Oh, I feel like I got one of those things in my neck. No, I'm just playing. The Ginger Kitty shirt is awesome, but we do have hats on the site. These are the flex fits with the back sewn in on the website. I like these in particular because it's got the Chaz, the front and the back, different color combos. I really do like that camo with the red. But then you also have the mesh over here, the mesh back. And these are where your premiums are. Man, that is such a nice look. Kind of has the Carhartt look to it. And then you got the camo with the black. Oh, my. Now, these are mesh, so there's no Chaz on the back. I really like this one. I wore it for a long time. The dark camo with the red and the white. Let's see here. The gray, the off-white with the gray. Can't go wrong. LongLiveTheChaz.com once again to check these out. Plenty of shirt options on there, of course. You got the logo shirts. You got the Ginger Kitty shirts. And then possibly the best design ever, the professional Gaslighter shirts. I don't know how people don't love this professional Gaslighter shirt. The 3D Chaz, of course, when we race sprint cars, hot lapped and almost raced, it kind of fell apart. But the professional Gaslighter shirt, this is one of the best designs I've seen on a race car shirt. We have a full bodied shirt, but professional Gaslighter, it's just awesome. It's a sprint car, 3-dimensional, blue with the orange, with the fade, with the gold. And of course, for those who don't know it, hold on, let me see if I can zoom in on this and show you. The driver does have a hat on. I know you can't see it, but there is a hat on the driver of that shirt. Anyway, longlivethechaz.com. The Ginger Kitty shirts are selling. I want to thank everybody who has purchased one of those Ginger Kitty shirts. I have not ordered one. I probably will here soon because I think it'll be funny to go to a high limit race. And could you imagine going to a high limit race and getting a Ginger Kitty shirt signed by Brad Sweet? I'm just saying. Hold on. By the way, the best color here, there's like 8 different colors. The stone blue. Look at the stone blue. That's just so beautiful. Will Brad Sweet sign this shirt? That's the question. Will Brad, if you take this, you buy this shirt, you wear it, and you stand in line for 3 or 4 seconds. It ain't Kyle Larson, it's Brad Sweet here. You stand in line for 3 or 4 seconds and you try to get an autograph of Brad Sweet on this Ginger Kitty shirt. Will he do it? That's the question. Let's see if he's available to talk tonight. We'll see if Brad Sweet's available with my voice gone. He might be down to actually answer. I'll ask him, what are you doing? I want his opinion on the Ginger Kitty shirt. Anyways, lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. Lines are open. Bam. The numbers on the screen. Numbers on the screen. We're waiting for our first caller. Let's hear it. Cody will sign it. Cody Jacobs will sign it. Hold on. We'll try to get the call-in graphic up. Hold on. Let's see. No. Hold on. If Bro Joe calls in, that'll be the slide we use right there. Let's see here. Live callers, we're waiting on you. What is your deal? What is your deal, guys? Come on. You just want to read the chat all night? Come on. Oh, we might have to close it out. Hold on. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh, shit. Hello. Who is called? What's happening?
What's up, Chaz?
Who is this?
It's Clark.
Oh, no. What do you have to say,
Oh,
Clark?
Yes. Well, I would have to say that it looks like David Graffel's going to probably win 20 races this year, eh?
I said he could win 34. If he wins 34, I believe he passes not Lasowski, but Doug Wolfgang on the all-time wins list if he wins 34.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I was saying this the other day that I think it's possible.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So your guy there, your previous caller, he wasn't too impressed with the high limit show at Paris, was he?
No, people are they're really upset, just about as upset as they are about my voice tonight. But yeah, they're upset at high limit from Paris. They are not happy.
Well, I'm surprised he's not upset that he lives in California.
That's one thing.
It was a shit show, but the I will say yes, it was a shit show. The rubber came down like lap 6 of actual racing. It was pretty terrible. And yes, Tanner Holmes blew a right rear tire, but you know, anybody running in dirty air on a rubber track is going to blow a tire, you know.
Right.
It is what it is.
That's true.
And you know, and really they're used to non-wing stuff being there, not 900 horsepower that's actually going to put the power down, right?
Yeah, but
so
there was a lot of people who said that they were blowing dust in hot laps. That's not. Yeah, that's not fair.
100%.
You can't.
Dude,
well, I would like to agree with you, Clark, and say that they're used to non-wing sprint cars, blah blah blah. But when the track's blowing dust at hot laps, that ain't used to non-wing sprint cars. That's people just not fucking trying.
But here, why would you even go to California when they're limited on water they can use?
Okay.
Pretty stupid, don't you think? Why was the track so shit? Why was he in the pit area and not freaking going?
That's what I mean. The Outlaws would not allow that race to happen.
No.
They wouldn't put a car on the track until it was worked. Now, KSP, which was the same weekend or last weekend, it wasn't like that. It wasn't blowing dust, but it was a normal work of a track. It just went away because of the wind and all those factors. The second night, they instructed the people there to really wet it down, you know. So, I mean, that's an example where the track went rubber, it was shit, but it wasn't to that degree of disconcern. There should have been a full track rework before qualifying, you know.
It didn't even look like it really got worked up that much.
No. I mean, honestly, once the track's that gone to start, the actual foundation's laid, you know.
100%. If it's gone in quali, and then you run heat races, you know, it's It's not good. It's not good. You know, and you know me, I was very high on High Limit, right? Like, let's be honest, super high. I don't know what's going on this year. They are absolutely taking a shit. Like, this is fucking embarrassing, Chaz.
Really?
That this is taking such. Look what happened in Texas with all of the shit that happened at Texas. I understand that you're trying to coordinate with NASCAR. I get it in Corey Day. I get it. Okay. But that was a shit show. The whole Reitzel thing was a shit show, even though it was probably his fault that he didn't put a fucking rock
He still don't have one on.
You know.
He still don't have one on. Did you notice that?
So then someone should fucking punch him in the nose then.
Is that where we draw the line on it being okay though? If a guy's willing to risk it, fuck it, right?
You take the rock screen when you're running at Bristol, when you actually need the aerodynamic advantage.
But it's all visual to these guys. People are saying it's all about the visuals.
Well, then maybe he's got to get his eyes checked. Fuck, I don't know. Well, you know what, Chaz? You know what? He's probably right, because a lot of these tracks, the lighting is pretty shit. So right. Yes, I don't blame him for that. If he's going to a track where the lighting is shit, then yeah, maybe he's right on that. But fucking his chances of getting a broken nose again is actually quite fucking high, apparently.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I say if the guy's already broke his fucking nose, and then he's willing to continue how he had it, is that not okay?
I guess that kind of.
at that point,
kind of makes him a true outlaw, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. At that point, it seems like you should. I mean, I guess, like I say, I don't know if you can get mad at the guy for it at that point.
If he's saying that if he says that it's safer for him not to run it because he can see better, then that's also a problem, because then that means the lighting that these guys are going to is beyond shit.
No, I've been described by the drivers that they just don't like the vision. They don't like seeing these bars in front of their eyes when they're driving. They just don't like it.
Right. So here's my question that I have for you.
Okay.
You know, amen to Reitzel. Okay, good for him. He won the fucking race. You know, Tanner Holmes, yes, is fast and really good equipment. You know, the Tarlton 21 is very quick because, you know, Macedo was fast in that.
It's his first real try, right? I mean, at a real car. I'm not disrespecting Bobby Allen and Shark Racing when I say they run 1992 setups. They do shit different. I think this is the first time Tanner's in a car where a guy's just doing modern shit, and he don't have to worry about nothing but driving.
It's a very well prepared car. Let's just put it that way.
It's a prepared race car. Go out and drive, and he's showing he can.
Well, and if you look at all of the successful drivers, what do? They just drive.
Right.
You know, it's hard to do both and still have energy at the end of the night to go run an A main where, you know, some of these tracks, yeah, the race is only 10 minutes, but shit, you're wide open for 10 minutes and you barely catch your breath by the end of the feature, right? It's just, you know, these things are fast and they're pulling a lot of G's, you know, 3 and 4 G's sometimes. Like, this shit's fast.
Well,
so
the other thing is that I don't think he's ever had this type of chance before to just drive.
I think the whole Shark thing was a little
extreme. Forced, extreme. They do things differently with the cars. They try this.
Well, yeah, because look at Logan Schuchart. He'll either dominate a race or he'll run 10th.
Well, and Logan Schuchart isn't really technically taking Bobby Allen's setup advice. I ain't seen Bobby in the pits this year, and Logan's doing the best he's ever done.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the Jacob Allen, the 1A car has been a
he's still
Bobby
100
Allen
points back, but-
operation. The 1A car has been the Bobby Allen operation for the most part. The 1S has kind of done other stuff, you know.
Right. I would agree.
And you could see the car going around the track differently. The 1A seems like it's always hemmed up on the right front. It's kind of pogo stick in the right rear. You know, it's not really laid over on the left rear, trying to find grip that way. It don't look that way most of the time, at least. Which is that's your modern way of setting up a car. A lot of the old school guys kind of like to still depend on the right rear of the vehicle. No response.
I think is the 1S or sorry, is the 1A racing high limit this year or no?
No. He's an outlaw schedule.
Okay, I thought I was blind. What's that?
No, he's doing like an outlaw schedule.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if that was actually
apparently the same as Emerson Axum, which I have to agree with Dirt Tracker. And this is what I was telling Axum and his crew and his team. If y'all are going to run these fucking outlaw races, just sign up for the fucking Outlaws. Take their fucking money. And if you fall off halfway through the year, then fine. But, you know, you had these other dumbass journalists, so-called journalists, tell these people that they shouldn't do that. Just run an outlaw schedule. He needs a year to grow still. Fucking, that's not how business works, though. I didn't say Jeremy Elliott. I'm not going to say that. I like Jeremy. If that was Jeremy's advice, he's stupid. He's not thinking of it business-like. Because if I'm Emerson Axum and I'm running as good as I did in Florida, and I'm planning on running the next 10 or 15-ish races, I'm going to take these 10 or 15-ish races and all the benefit that I can get from them financially.
Okay, so talking about it being a business, why would Roth, who had a high limit charter or franchise, had a high limit franchise, why the F would they not partner with somebody else to take over that charter for this year?
Well, here's the deal. I ain't trying to be mean.
No, let's be honest.
But I suggested in November or December that Chase, or no, I think I did it earlier than that. I think it was when Chase Randall departed from the 2KS. Actually, yeah. I kind of broke the news that James McFadden was not coming back next year. I didn't mean to. I talked to James about it, but I was more so concerned about Chase Randall's future when I was talking about it. But I remember saying, like, James McFadden's not going to be there next year. Why don't y'all pick up Chase Randall and make him a development guy or whatever? You already have a fucking charter. This might have been later, actually, because they already had it. And I broke that how, you know, McFadden wasn't coming back. I guess it wasn't public news at the time. But I was saying, why not put Chase Randall in the car? Or I even said, I believe in December, I said, Jade Avedisian, a Toyota driver, who's going to be better on dirt, I think. She might get exposed in wing racing, sort of like Kaylee Bryson gets exposed for how good they actually are because they're running midgets. We don't know how good they are running midgets. They're, you know, the national scene, those national midget guys, they go ghost at Chili Bowl and the fucking local 360 guys jump in there and shit, embarrass them. So maybe Jade might have got exposed, but Chase Randall would have been a very competent driver to go into that car, claim your high limit franchise. And I believe Gravel even said that when we were talking the other day. It makes absolutely no sense. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about money and finances and teams making it by, Roth Motorsports don't need a fucking dollar to make it by. So their decisions aren't based on that shit. They just do whatever the fuck they want. They lost $400,000.
But
Who cares? But that's also why I think the Outlaws are going to survive. It's because you're going to have people
But here's
making
my question.
decisions that don't have a damn thing to do with business decisions. It's just what they want to do, and they got the money.
But here's my question, Chaz. If Roth had something that had financial value, why wouldn't they sell that charter for like $50,000 or $10,000?
Because you have to race
Why?
a season for 800,000
No,
or
I know
750. It would have
But
it
why-
would have took 750 to 800,000 to run a season. So,
But why wouldn't they sell it to another team that was going to run? Is what I'm saying.
they had to run this year to
Or-
claim it.
Right. So basically, could there have been?
That's
a
what
scenario
I'm
where
saying,
Roth
though.
Raw just
That's
sell it?
what I'm saying,
Oh.
though.
And they
He
said
would have
no.
had. They would have had to spend 700 to 800,000 to run this year.
But we could have done what Jason Sides did, and put Rico as a sponsor, and then Rico could sell his merch.
Okay.
No, could we not have done the same thing?
Okay.
Like Rico was able to sell his merch at World of Outlaw races because he was a sponsor on Jason Sides Racing, right?
Or they pay, but yeah.
Sponsorship at the end of the day, right? It's a business transaction. So I don't know. But here's my other thing that I gotta ask you. When was the last time, you tell me, because you've been in for much longer, but tell me, when was the last time David Gravel had a crew chief for more than 2 years? Is that even possible? That this could be the
It's
first
looking
time?
dangerous right now because he has had Cody for the time he's had.
This is year 3.
Yeah, it's looking dangerous. The collaboration, the molding of the two sides coming together and really hitting in sync. I think we're starting to see that. You know, I think the closest thing to taking Gravel down is Kyle Larson and Paul Silva. It sucks that we don't get that every week because NASCAR's paid them so much money to suck their dick. But
you know what I can't wait for is a jam-packed Oshwegan Speedway, which is going to be a Wednesday, Thursday show up here in Canada. And guess who's going to come up here and race?
No, he's not. No.
What?
Kyle?
Yeah. Why do you think it's a weekday show?
Oh, my God. He's not going.
He is.
I'm walking off the show, Clark. Answer the chat. I got to pee.
Answer the chat. What do we got going on? I think, what do you guys think? How many wins will Gravel get this year? You think he'll get to 20? What's the word?
This is why I have to run the show.
Chaz, where are you? Are you?
This
in
is
a
why I
garage?
have to run the
Where
show.
hell are you?
If it was up to you, it would crash.
Okay, so you don't think that Kyle Larson is going to come up to Oshwegan Speedway and race against the Outlaws Wednesday and Thursday night? Why do you think it's a weekday show?
Because they need to get in and get out very quick.
Okay, get in and get out, but then they're not racing again until Sunday, 3 hours away.
Yeah, but they got to get in and get out because I don't know how many people are going to be able to actually make it up there.
Cross the border?
Yeah.
So you don't think that it says Glenn Stires Racing on the side of Paul Silva race car, and he's not going to come up and race at Glenn Steyer's hosted World of Outlaw race.
He is in a Glenn Steyer's racing car, so that's a good point.
So, and what I'm saying here is, like, you know, if Kyle is well, here's the thing: is Kyle really on a high on the dirt side right now? Because he's not in the late model anymore.
Yeah, he can't keep up in the late model.
You know, and don't get me wrong, Rumley's a really smart guy, but
the late models are just
too
deep. We know this.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But
I don't think he'll go back to a late model. He's too outclassed. He knows it. He knows at this point there's too much.
Oh, come on.
You know it's true, Clark.
Are you going to come up for the Oshweekend race?
I don't know if I could get into the country.
Well, you don't have any priors, do you? You don't have any DWIs, right?
That's the problem. It was like 30 years ago or 20 years ago, but yeah, I do have the and that's why they don't go up there. The DWI, I do have that.
Well, if they ask you at the border, you say no.
Well,
you don't say you have that.
Well, you can actually pay the country like $800 to pardon you. It's kind of a money grab.
$800.
Yeah, it's like $800.
That's not bad.
You got to ask for like a pardon, a chalice pardon or something.
So, all right. So you think Seabell's going to come up? Who do you think is going to come up to Canada?
I think everybody.
You think Ginger Kitty's going to come up?
I don't know about that. Yeah, here it is. It's possible to obtain a pardon, and then I looked it up real quick just for you. For DUI convictions, I do have one from 20 years ago. It's kind of a fucked up deal. I went to a house party. I was supposed to be able to stay there. At like 3 a.m., they all wanted to go out clubbing. I was like, I ain't doing that. I'm fucked up. And they're like, well, you got to leave then. And that's how it happened. But there's like all these instructions on how to get a pardon. You pay for money and all this shit. It's a money grab.
You have a conviction in Canada?
No, I don't. But if you have any DWI convictions, you have to pay for that pardon. I've looked into it before.
Oh, that's fucked up.
It's like $800. What year is the DWI conviction? I believe 2010, so 15 years ago.
They'll be fine. Just don't say anything at the border. Drive up and you won't have a problem. Fly in, you're fucked.
Really?
Yeah, Trudeau wants electric cars 2035. We have to be fully electric up here in Canada.
Wow. How are you going to handle the Trump tariffs? How are you going to handle that? What are you going to do? You going to leave or?
Dude, there's no fucking tariffs. Like, anybody who believes any
Donnie Shot said this, and we actually had a point on the show when we got into this discussion.
So, Chaz, so let's put it this way, okay? So this is all about drugs and securing the border on the northern side. Okay, yeah, you guys obviously have a problem on the southern border, but you guys also have a big problem on the northern border. And it's not just drugs. It's also human smuggling. Because it's very easy to fly into Canada and then just run across the border in the U.S. It's way easier to do it in Canada.
Well, and you got the I-35 corridor. The I-35 corridor runs from Mexico to Canada. It's the main drug transferring corridor in the world.
Look it up. There's a Canadian truck driver that got busted with like 900 kilograms of drugs in Arizona. It was like a month ago. So since this whole like Trump thing came in, the amount of drug busts that have been going on up here is through the roof. Like known drug labs that the RCMP, which is our FBI, that would never touch them, are now busting them.
Okay. I was just looking up the I-35 corridor. It goes actually through Dallas, where I'm at. I was on I-35 today, but it goes from Mexico all the way through Oklahoma, Kansas, Iowa, and it says it ends slightly near the Canadian border, but that's the main
you guys
one.
have a bad. So do you guys have a human trafficking issue in Iowa?
Oh, I mean, human trafficking's an issue everywhere, but the central Midwestern areas where you have a lot of corrupt police departments, to be honest, a lot of corrupt things that happen. It's mainly based around I-35 because of its traveling corridor throughout the country.
Damn.
I'll show you real quick. I'll pull it up on a map real quick. Let me show you. So that is not where we are right now. Yes, we are. But I-35 is this road right here. You see 35 on the screen. Let me see. We'll get it closer here. 35. It's that one. I mean, it's still so small on the screen, but it's that road right there. But you zoom out, and that I-35 goes all the way. Austin, you'd think it's kind of south of Texas. It's kind of in the middle. But I-35 goes all the way down here to Laredo. And these border areas are almost war style. I've been to a couple of them. There was always a thing with Juarez when I was a kid. If you want to be a man, you got to go to Juarez, which is over here near El Paso. A lot of gang and shit stuff happens there, but 10 also is over there. But the 35, you can kind of see it from here. It goes from Laredo through Austin. This is why it's a big drug trade corridor. San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, obviously, Oklahoma City, Wichita, Kansas, Topeka, Kansas, up through Kansas City, up through Des Moines, up through Minneapolis. These are some major, areas, and it ends over in Duluth, but then you just split 94, go up here into 29. But that's the major, because when you go through the center of everything, you can disperse it. A lot of people don't understand these big metroplexes of today's time or originally areas of auction houses. Very similar to St. Louis. St. Louis is a huge auction house. Now, when I say auction house, I mean for people. It was a part of the slave trades back in the day. And
all the way back up to 35. Where does 35 come into Canada?
It doesn't. It ends before Duluth. It ends.
No, I know, but where? What's the closest point to Duluth? Go up.
I mean, you could split up. I mean, Carlton, Superior. You can go over the border right there at 53.
Minneapolis. Yeah, go up. Rice Lake, go up.
35 ends in Duluth. There's the border, the white line.
Yeah, so what's at Duluth, right at Duluth there? What is that? Zoom out. Oh, Thunder Bay. Damn, that explains a lot.
Yeah. And that's when they transfer the shit across the water, more than likely, into Canada.
I got to be careful what I say.
Yeah, I'm sure. Because 35 ends right there at Duluth, and then they put it on a boat and send it over.
Well, not just that, but what's between that area there? There's some stuff up there. But anyway.
What do you mean?
I'm not.
Ashland, Ohio? You want to point out Ashland, Ohio? Where fucking apparently
I'm saying,
Tim Richmond's from Ashland? Yeah,
I'm saying that they're
Ashland, Ohio, but there's an Ashland on my screen right now.
So if you go up on the border,
Yeah.
Pull up a little
Okay,
bit, pull up
Cole.
on the border and zoom in.
Thunder Bay.
So you got a national forest there. You got a national forest there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. A lot of hiding. Is there anything that's happened in this forest you don't want to tell us?
that's you know, you got a national
What's happened
forest
in the
and
forest, sir?
you got a provincial park. And
What's happened in the
if you do
forest?
if you do some digging in and around those areas, you'll be like, oh damn. Yeah.
So this is what it's
Thunder
about.
Bay. No thanks.
Yeah, so that's how you get, basically, that's how you get Mexico weed, cocaine, all this shit that can be grown down here in this area. That's how you get it from there to Canada. That's how you get it to Dallas, Austin, all these major international cities, or intercontinental, I guess, intercontinental.
What do you think of the Canadians booing the American anthem in the hockey arenas? Have you been hearing any of that shit?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's fucking terrible. Our former prime minister's like, I want you guys to boo the American anthem in the arenas.
Okay.
So stupid. And now that jackass is gone, because now we got an election that's happening in 37 days.
Well, Clark, there are people who probably do want to call. Is there anything else you want to say?
So over under David Gravel wins the Outlaw Championship by 300 points.
Oh God.
They need 2 ahead right now.
Under
300?
Yeah.
Does over under on 20 wins.
Over.
When Gravel and Kyle come to Oswego, who wins both nights?
Neither.
Ooh.
I think Donnie Shots will win a night there.
Not a chance. You got to run the lip.
Okay.
It's dangerous. You got to run the lip. So
Kyle will probably get private testing and everything, so it probably will be Kyle if it's both nights.
No.
Maybe Sheldon.
That won't help. Sheldon will either win it or flip. But he will definitely. Sheldon will be on the podium. Gio, no, he's off right now. He's not even on his A game right now. Something's going on there. I just think that Gravel finally has a crew chief for 3 years that I think he's just going to completely.
He's been able to grow with somebody. Somebody said Stuart Friesian wins. No way.
maybe in a UMP modified against Kenny Schrader. So, anyways, Chaz, get somebody else to call in.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye. All right. Line is open. We're going to call some people back if we have to. We have had several missed calls. This is the Rambo segment. We are taking on all the fire. Let's see what this 909 had to say. Let's see.
Hello. This is Glenn.
Oh, Glenn.
If you can leave me a message, I will call or text you back.
What a bum. Glenn's a bitch. All right, we got one more call back, and then we'll be open.
Please leave your message for 817.
Wow. Somebody says, "Can I call you later?" I'm not calling him back. Line is open. The number's on the screen, guys. We're waiting for our next caller. We're over here answering TikTok and Tinder messages. I did not know that TikTok was like the fast track to single women. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. It was a 817, yes. I was thinking if I got live here tonight, y'all would send some super chats and all this. You're not going to. I could go to High Limit next week at Central Arizona Speedway if y'all will send some super chats maybe. If y'all were up to potentially PayPaling or Venmoing some cash for some damn gas in the car to go all the way to Arizona, that would be a big deal. That'd be awesome. We do have a voicemail, it looks like. Those links, by the way, Venmo and PayPal in the description. But you could do a super chat right now and call me a dumbass. Thank you, dang dang. Thank you. I call and it shall be received. Regardless, I won't see that $5 until next month, but it helps. It helps. Thank you, dang dang. Let's hear what this voicemail had to say. If you want to call and leave a voicemail, you can do that as well. We'll play it on the show. Here it is. Hold on, we got to play the voicemail. Hold on. Oh, God. Here we go. Here we go. Hello.
What's up, fucking Chaz? Who's this, Chaz?
Yeah. You fuck.
I'm sitting out in the fucking sand dunes, fucked up, and I'm getting a call from Morristown, Tennessee. Is that you?
That's where Scott Bloomquist left to be with the aliens, so that is our area code, yes.
No shit. I'm glad you brought that up, because there's a lot of shit, like, in interviews and shit that Scott Bloomquist said, and that fucking song that, fuck, what the hell's the band? He mentioned this in one of his interviews. Fuck, I can't. And there's this guy at the end of the song is talking some weird shit.
What's your name? Where are you from? How about that? Obviously, California?
My name is Glenn. I'm out in the fucking sand dunes. I'm in Glamis, California right now. It's out here where Tony Stewart broke his back years ago.
Okay.
And I'm watching this fucking Chaz. You just mentioned Scott Bloomquist, and I'm thinking like I think he planned his whole fucking death.
Yeah, well, we did have a theory that he's not dead. He faked it, but
but he flew his goddamn plane into that barn. You know?
Something did. I mean, there were no skid marks on the ground. Apparently, he burned to death, but the wooden barn did not burn.
He knew what he was doing.
Okay.
Him and his dad. His dad is like a legendary, like, airplane restore guy. Good shit. But anyway, Chaz, I'm a big fan. Sometimes you say shit. You piss me off. A couple days ago, you said some shit. All of a sudden, you're talking good stuff, and then you say something about Trump fucking turned his head at the right time. It's like, come on, Chaz.
Trump did turn his head at the right time. What are you talking about?
Fucking guy got his head blown off in front of his wife and kid. That's the real shit.
What are you talking about? Trump still turned his head at the right time.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time, somebody died there too, so it's not a bunch of bullshit. But anyway,
okay.
I enjoy your show, Chaz. Sometimes shit like that pisses me off. Anyway,
okay.
But I used to go to Paris. I'm fucking tired of Paris. To me, they probably did that on purpose. Like, for some reason, that track wants it to fail. The announcer there is a complete fucking jack-off. It's just sad. I've been going to Paris since it opened, and, like, for the last 3 years, I'm just like, screw it. They charge $30 to park for the high limit race.
Yeah.
And $55 to get in.
Yeah.
Now, if it's just me, that's almost what? Almost $90 to get in. They want probably at least $15 for beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. They've blocked me on all their Facebook shit because months ago you did a show talking about the population in Dallas. The population around Paris, the Inland Empire, has 4.5 million people. That's not counting the desert, San Diego, or L.A. And they can't even get goddamn 1,000 people in the stands. It's a joke.
Yeah, it's a scam.
Yeah. And it's sad. I mean, I live 20 minutes from there. And I haven't gone in I went to the desert with my wife and my friends, but I missed the race last night. But I mean, come on, dry slick, fuck.
Well, and down there in the South, they seem to just hate wing cars too. They hate wing racing.
This guy, the announcer there, like pissed me off years ago. It's going back probably 5 or 6 years. The 4th of July, we used to have the USAC, non-wing cars, and they would let everybody that lived in the city of Paris in for free. So if you showed up at the gate with your family, you got an ID from Paris, you're in for free. The place was packed. It was standing room only, okay? They run the heat races, 9 o'clock, they blow the fireworks off, and everybody starts leaving. And the announcer doesn't say shit. Like, hey, dude, hey, people, like, we have the main event coming up. No. Within 10 minutes, the place was down to probably like 1,000 people in the grandstands. It was it was a great main event. But it's shit like that. April Fool's jokes where they act like the track is closing. And then I'm out here last night. I got service, and I watched the highlights, and it's like, you got to be kidding me. 10 laps in, the track's taking rubber?
Right.
Come on.
Right.
And then I'm listening to you. Somebody said they were taking rubber in hot laps? Is that for real? Wow. It's a shame. I don't know whether they're in on some California bullshit where if they're failing, they're getting money, but it's sure to hell they don't do promotion. I wish you'd come out to Paris and promote the goddamn track.
I mean, maybe you're right, though. Maybe the government's involved.
I don't know, because they sure act like they want it to fail. They did this shit a couple years ago. They did a thing called #SaveParis. Okay, so people think, like, oh, the track's closing. No, it's a project with the lake right there behind the back straightaway is a dam, and they want to do a construction project with the dam. And you think they're going to close the track? No, they're just going to park construction equipment on the parking lot. The track's not going to close. It's just a bunch of bullshit, but people think like the
So you're saying they acted like they were going to close to get people to spend money and come?
Yeah. You look it up on YouTube. Put on their #SaveParis, and it'll come up with Scott Delosio and Don Kazarian, the owner of the track. They're sitting on the fucking back straightaway talking about this project with the dam. That was 2 years ago. Nothing's happened since. A few years ago, he did an April Fool's joke acting like, hey, we're going to fill the track with water and have boat races. So this is unbelievable. A couple years ago, I'm there in the beer line. These guys are in front of me, and I hear the guy say, I thought this track was closed. And I'm like, what did you say? And he's like, yeah, I thought I read once where they were going to fill it with water and have boat races. I'm like, that's a goddamn April Fool's joke. And this guy didn't go there for years because he thought it was done. It's just a bunch of stupid shit.
So is it a scam? You're saying Paris is out for a scam?
I don't know what it is. But, I don't know, Chaz. It's just sad. So, and just like they didn't promote the high limit race. High limit was, but
I'm curious on if that was a rental show or a purse paid event.
After being as little, I was commenting on the high limit shit. Come on, Paris, promote this shit. So it seemed like in the last few days on Facebook they were pumping it up, but I think it was almost like high limit probably rented the place because Paris itself really didn't promote it much. It was high limit promoting it like on Facebook and
right,
Twitter.
A track rental.
Yeah.
And the Outlaws do that. I'd say 70% of the Outlaw schedule is a track rental event.
Right. But, I mean, I watched the highlights. Like I said, I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, and I watched the highlights this morning. It wasn't, I've gone a couple times in the last couple of years. I mean, they're lucky if they have 500-600 people in the grandstands. It's sad. Now they run the, street stocks, mini stocks, the sprint cars, the young guns. It's like, fuck, you're sitting there, and they drag the thing out. You're there till 11 o'clock at night.
Anyway. Even on a weekly basis, it's extremely expensive, right?
It is. Everything's expensive in California. I mean, fuel. For me, I live 20 miles from there. I got a truck. It's going to cost me $10 to drive, $15, $20 in diesel. $30 to park, $55 to get in, and I don't know what beer's got to be $15. My wife likes to drink beer. It's gonna cost me fucking $200 to go to the high limit race.
So, are you saying on a weekly race though, it's still expensive, from my understanding? When they have a regular old race, it's still like $40 to get in.
They raised the price from $10 to park to $20, and then the regular USAC race, they had one 2 weeks ago. It was $38 to get in, plus $20 to park.
And you can't bring your beer. Pit pass is probably 55 or 60.
You can't go out the gate. You can't go back out to your car. So once you're in there, you're stuck. Yeah.
Wow.
So.
The formula on how to fail as a dirt track, it sounds like it's Paris Auto Speedway. That's what it sounds like. I mean.
And like a year ago, I listened to this. The announcer was on this show, like, I don't know what, dude's from Indiana, Rib Racks, some shit like that.
Okay.
Like a podcast. And I'm listening to this guy, the announcer, and he's sitting there acting like he works until midnight every day, writing press releases and all kinds of bullshit. And I'm like, dude, nobody even knows the track exists.
Right.
You have no idea how many people I've told to go there.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why I think High Limit has a real shot at taking the Outlaws over. You know,
right.
I mean, how dark our sport actually is unbelievable. Unbelievable how dark this sport is.
You've said in the past, like a year ago, Kyle Larson, somebody asked him about walking around. What is
Chicago.
He in somewhere, and he's like, nobody really knows who I am. You know, there really ain't a lot of people in the whole world of skiing that are paying attention to NASCAR and let alone sprint cars.
That's the crazy thing. There's so many people willing to suck Kyle's dick to eat lunch with him and be his friend, and he's a nobody. He's a nobody. Kyle Larson is technically a nobody. I challenge any of you to go to your local major city, the outskirts, and go in and just go to Walmart and buy a case of beer because it's cheap. And on your way checking out, just ask the cashier, hey, have you heard of Kyle Larson before? You know, you get in these cashier conversations sometimes when she's sitting there, you know, scanning 600 fucking items for $2 an hour. Ask the bitch, you ever heard of Kyle Larson? She's going to say, who? I have to bring up, it's the NASCAR guy who said the N-word. Do you know that guy? Oh, yeah, I heard of him. Oh, yeah, he's that guy. Maybe.
You said you went to a Starbucks in Knoxville, and they didn't even know nothing about Outlaws, right?
No fucking clue.
That's unbelievable.
But the Outlaws have this fucking brand. The Outlaws have a brand.
Here's the deal at Paris. So next door to Paris, the racetrack is like a horse betting place. It's called Derby's. So it's a sports bar. So if you go to park, and me and my brother do this all the time, but we go and eat there. So hey, we're going to Derby's. So they don't charge you to park. But we go to Derby's. This is like 3 years ago. The Outlaws are there. And my wife's niece works at this bar. She's a fucking waitress. And she's like, oh, what are you guys doing? And literally, where we were sitting inside this restaurant, there was like a fire door. Sorry, there's a car going by. And on the other side of that door was fucking Donnie Schatz. And I asked my wife, Steve, she's like, what are you guys doing here? We're going to the races. The Outlaws are here. She's like, what's that? And like, the fucking has never told the sports bar next door about the racing, you know? So when we go in the track and I go and I'm like, holy shit, there's Donnie Schatz and there's that fucking door. We were sitting on the other side of that door. But it's like you can go and eat at the sports bar for free for parking. But it's
over
like nobody
the track
at the bar
all fucked up or something, you know. I mean,
yeah, nobody that worked at the bar, like no promotion even at the goddamn bar. And it's a nice place. You go there, you can bet on horses and eat and drink. But it's just amazing. But nobody knows about our sport. You're trying. So, anyway.
Making my dumbass songs, talking shit, stirring the shit. They say it's.
Where you at right now?
They say I stirred the pot, but fuck, if you don't stir it, it burns. I mean.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Texas. I'm in discussion trying to get to Arizona for the sprint car high limit race.
Okay,
that's
gotcha.
where we almost took. Somebody was trying to pay me $1,200 to go to Paris. At this point, I'm glad I declined his offer because that was
kidding.
a fucking
Somebody wanted
joke.
you to come that bad.
Yeah,
wow.
they were pretty adamant about it. Yeah.
They want fucking Chaz at Paris for $1,200. Wow.
That's what they said. I mean, I could show you the text, but we're not trying to.
And all you guys listening the other night, I don't even know what night it was, when you had that black chick on here, you listened to Chaz's fucking game he was playing with that chick, how to pick up and slide in with these chicks' emotions. Chaz was giving you guys a lesson.
What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean? What do you mean?
That chick, that black chick you had on here.
Yeah, I had
the
black
night.
chick out on the other night. Yeah, what happened? What are you trying to say?
You were trying to slide in there with all your emotions of your past girlfriend, and I knew what was going on.
Hold on. I did read her eyes, though. I did make her feel. She had a moment there. She's like, "How'd you know that?" I mean, now we know why I have this hoarse throat. It's the black chick. I'm gonna blame her.
There's like 100 people watching. And I'm like, motherfucker, look at Chaz. He's telling this chick that he's a broke motherfucker.
And she was still down. That's the fucked up part.
I know. That's why I'm like, look at Chaz's got fucking game. I couldn't believe it.
You couldn't believe that I had the game. You underestimate.
Like, hey, I just go wherever and I work whatever, and I'm a broke fuck.
Hey, that chick was pretty stout though. She was pretty fucking.
Oh yeah.
She was stout.
I'm not into black chicks, but if you could score that, you're doing good, dude.
Oh my God, Cardi B's in the building. We'll see if we get her to call back tonight. We'll see. I blocked her twice already. I couldn't take it. I blocked her twice. She's off my Snapchat. I took her off. I'm out. No, I'm out on that.
Fucking Chaz is swatting them away.
Hey man, I ain't saying I'm Tyler Courtney, but I mean,
I want to know what that guy's got going on.
Hey, I mean, it ain't that big according to the people I know, and that's why I aim so high. I aim high because I mean, if that's all he's working with, fuck, I got the hammer over here. Fuck, I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know that Tyler Courtney was over here with this little, 2-incher slinging this thing around. I'm like, all right, I at least got 4. I could do something with 4 if he could do that with 2. I mean,
I wish you could tell us all the drama that you know what's going on.
Oh God, I've tried. I've done my best. I haven't exposed the Ricky Lewis girl beating thing. I know this is a thing out there, but
yeah, I've seen stuff about that. I don't know anything about that either.
I've tried to stay away from it, but
right,
who knows? I don't know.
I don't know. I know somebody that races USAC, and I've seen him comment about there's so much drama in the USAC pit, and there's drama in the Outlaw pit. It's like, what the hell is going on?
I mean, when I see woman and I see man, I get scared. I'm like, oh, fuck, I can't handle this.
Right.
I gotta pee.
Right,
I gotta pee. Can you let me go, or can you respond to these chat guys?
Yeah, let me see what's on your chat.
All right. I'll go pee while you see what these fucking chat bastards are saying.
Let's see what's going on here. Fucking chat. I was at Hanford, Port Royal. Fucking Chaz, Tanner's sister. What's up with Tanner's fucking sister? I don't even know what she looks like. Is she fucking cute or what? I'm into fucking chicks with bubble butts. Has she got a fucking nice round ass or what? Let's see. sweet response to Colby Jacobs. The fucking ginger kitty. That's awesome. Let's see. There ain't a whole lot on here, Chaz, on this fucking chat. It's kind of lame. Let's fucking talk about Tyler Courtney. I want to know what kind of pussy he's pulling down.
Hey, all I know with Tyler. Hold on, we're getting back. All I know with Tyler is that if he can do what he's doing with what he's got, all of us should feel like freed slaves. There's no discrepancy on penis size, guys. If you could put it in, you're a superstar, apparently. You could take anyone's woman, anyone's wife. As far as I know, at least. We should all feel like we're black guys in the porn industry.
My fucking thumb's probably bigger. Dick.
I didn't say all that. That's mean. I didn't say all that. Somebody says Chaz loves PA women. I mean, there's a lot of race fans in PA. I'll give him that. Race fans want a taste of the the jalapeno. They want to see how spicy it can get.
Where's Joe tonight? Is he in bed?
We could try to call him. Do we want to call Joe? Want me to try to call him?
I don't know.
Okay.
My phone's going low.
All right. We'll call him so your phone don't break.
I really like Joe.
A lot of people do.
I like his perspective on a lot of stuff. So.
Okay.
All right, Chaz.
Okay.
Well, you take it easy, buddy.
Easiest for the bitches.
I'll have to call you again, Chaz, all right?
Finally. Fuck. All right. Where are you from before we let you go? You're in the desert.
Oh, yeah. I'm from Hemet, California. I'm out in Glamis right now. I'm out in the sand dunes.
You're transporting weed for the cartel in the sand dunes.
No weed. But I'm out in the middle of nowhere. There's a few people here camping, but I'm out in the sand dunes. I'm from Hemet, which is about 20 miles from Paris.
Okay.
So, all right, Chaz. You have a good night, buddy.
Thank you for calling. I'm glad you enjoyed the black chick conversation.
I did.
All right, bye.
We'll see you, buddy. Bye.
Oh no, we're putting in the 121 guys. Oh no. All we do is we type in Joe. We're gonna give it one shot. One shot. Y'all are apparently begging for it. We've only got one super chat tonight. Ain't nobody went and bought a shirt. Ain't nobody sent any more super chats. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I won't be able to talk. We're putting our life, my ability to talk, on the line, being live right now, and y'all ain't sent a super chat. I ain't seen no PayPal notification. I'm trying to go to Arizona this week, Central Arizona. They're gonna have 410s. High limit's gonna be there. I actually raced there. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, shit. Hold on. Here we go. We'll know the answer here. Maybe not. Maybe not, guys. Hold on. Trying to figure out this broke Joe deal. Hold on. Here we go. We're getting there. Make sure that, the lines are open if y'all remember the number. Hold on. Just seeing if we had these laps from Casa Grande on file. Maybe not. Let's see here. We going to Arizona. 661. We're here.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
You there?
Yes.
So I did some digging and I did some research from Friday's episode, and I came across the Holy Grail of sisters on the Facebook page. If you check your Instagram, I sent you a picture of Tanner Holmes' sister on Instagram. It's PG. She's cute.
Why is Tanner Holmes' sister being cute? Anything at all? Why does that matter?
Well, I'm just saying, because we were talking about her.
Y'all were,
because no one knew what she. Well, we didn't know what she looked like, so I decided to do some deep digging and find the documents. As Alex Jones would say.
You found the documents.
And I found the documents proving that Tanner Holmes' sister is pretty hot.
You're sure about this?
I'm positive. I sent you the Instagram when you was wishing her a happy 21st birthday. I sent you the Facebook link on Instagram.
Okay.
I think the chat will agree with me on this.
Oh God. I don't know why we're showing Tanner Holmes' sister, but that's it.
See, look, she's cute.
Yeah, why does that matter?
I was just saying, just another reason to root for him.
Okay. Are you
I'm
saying I should hook up?
You're
trying to say I should hook up with her? We should be a power couple? What are you trying to say?
I don't think that she's the kind. From what she looks like, she's definitely not the kind just to hook up. You're going to have to take her on a couple dinners, and it's going to have to be official.
But you're saying the Chaz and Tanner Holmes' sister should get married or something? Power couple.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Or you could talk to her and help me out. One of the two.
Okay. They're already accusing me of trying to marry Tanner's mom, so.
Well, this is more realistic,
Which way's more realistic, 50 or 21? Come on. What the fuck are you talking about? Although this was 21st birthday in 2021. It is 2025, so she's 24 now.
Yeah.
I'm not judging her, mom, first of all. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I think she's cute.
Good.
I think she's like the kind that you'd bring home to mom type,
Well, my mom is dead, so that's out of my league, apparently. So, anyway, are you done with Tanner Holmes' sister? Are you done with him?
Well, I was just like, if she's listening, I said, tell her I said sup if she's listening right now.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
That's the older sister. Yeah, the older sister's the one.
Okay.
So that's the one I was saying is hot. So
okay.
Just throwing that out there. So if she's listening, sup.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you later.
Okay. Bye. Oh no, my call went $50 because we're talking about Tanner Holmes' sister. I don't know why. All right, Broke Joe 121. Let's see here. Let's see what happens. He's not gonna answer, guys. He's asleep, watching Billy Strings. Sorry, he's not answering. Would anyone like to call? Maybe Michael, who just sent $50 on the super chat. That's huge. Means a lot. Thank you so much for sending that, actually. Hey, Chaz, watching from Australia. Thank you for watching. How many sisters does he got? You're talking about Tanner Holmes? I don't know. I'm not sure. Can we look this up? I don't know. Hold on. Hello, I have answered your call.
The Chaz.
Oh no.
So what? Yeah, what is that? What does Tanner Holmes' older sister have to do with anything, man?
That's what I'm saying.
And so Carly is like 16 or 17 or something. Are they talking about his younger sister that goes around and is his crew?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't technically dealt with that, so.
Anyway, so from watching his YouTube videos, his younger sister is the one that is his crew member and works on the car.
Right.
And then he has an older sister, and I don't think she really has anything to do with his racing.
No, she don't.
Yeah.
I mean, for some reason, they wanted to reference her. I don't know why. I mean, they're kind of weird, maybe.
And they look like Tanner. So
yeah,
if you like, a woman that looks like Tanner,
potentially.
Anyway, so yeah, talking about Tanner. What, nobody could tell that he was overdriving the car with 20 laps to go?
That's what it looked like, but he's trying, I mean.
Yeah, but in that car, he doesn't have to try that hard. He could have won that race. I think. He was way overdriving the car, sliding it way up into the wall almost, and there was 20 laps to go. You could tell he wasn't going to make it to the end.
Right. You could.
Yeah, so. Yeah, we're all rooting for him. I'd like to see him do good.
We would like to, but we don't know if we're going to get that. That's the problem.
And they throw the yellow and Justin Sanders spins like instantly, but they'll let everybody else wreck out and spin into the infield before they throw the yellow. And, but as soon as Justin Sanders spins out, they throw the yellow immediately.
Yeah, they did. They do that.
And then they all wadded him up in that last race. They all wadded Sanders up. Why would he show up to these other races?
So are you saying the Sanders run is based on other things besides his actual run?
I think that those guys are out to get him. Like, they don't want him to be out there showing them all up,
Right. But, I mean, Tulare wasn't based on that. He just got caught up in a wreck.
Yeah, it looked more like, it looked like they were wrecking into him.
What about Kern?
I don't know. It looked like that track needed to be worked. They were all flipping.
Right, but everybody's working on the same track, technically.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm with Joe. I feel like those guys are out to get Justin, man.
Okay.
I told you about those guys around here, out here in California,
Right.
man.
The cartel.
They are the cartel.
Okay.
If they want the track to take rubber, then they'll let it take rubber. If they want to see people throwing mud, they'll soak it down, you know? Just
right.
Depends on what they feel like doing.
Okay. Okay.
So what's going on with your voice, man? Were you hooting and hollering?
Yeah, the other night with the 305 guy, I was fucking letting her rip. And I guess we ripped.
Yeah, it sounds like you ripped some vocal cords, man.
Fuck it. It'll come back. Maybe I need a COVID shot. It'll be all better again. Right? Fuck you. I'll just sit here and it'll be good in a day or two.
Yeah.
But people
Breathing
wanted
all
me
that
on
dust.
tonight. People wanted me on tonight. So I was like, all right, we can come on tonight. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but we can come on.
Yeah. So you think David Gravel's going to beat the all-time record or what?
It is looking, I don't know if he could do all-time wins. That's going to be extremely hard. I don't know. What's that, 40 or something? But I think it's possible for him to get 30.
Yeah, Kofoid, just needs to get into his little rhythm like he did halfway through the season last year or whatever, and
100%.
see what happens, I guess.
Yep.
Well, all right, man. You sound like you're pretty tore up and tired.
It's bad. I mean, I'm not bad. What do you want to talk about? I'm waiting for the callers to tell me.
I'm doing all the talking, I feel like.
Well, I know. I can't do any talking, really. I'm here to respond, but...
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. We'll see if somebody else wants to call in and see what they have to say. We'll see.
All right, brother.
All right. Well, thank you for calling, man.
Night. Hope you feel better, dude.
We'll try.
All right, bye.
Is anyone calling? 423-616-7673. Chaz is sad. No. Justin BS, who cares? He's the mofo in the car doing it, even if they shitty conspiracies were true. Well, would it matter? What can you do about it? Honestly, though, nothing. They should let TK drive the 69. Why? Why? Is no one calling? Is that it? Are we done with the callers? No one's going to call? 423-616-7673. We're right here waiting on you, bitch. Come and get some. Where you at? Waiting on you. You've been watching the Chaz. You're one of the 127 people watching the Chaz. You think I'm a fucking idiot. You think I'm stupid. You hate me. Which is probably 100 of the 127. Call in right now and tell me how much you hate me and why. I don't care. Do it. You can't hurt my feelings. Oh, shit. Who the fuck is calling now? Who is it? You hate me.
This is David from Colorado.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I talked to you once before.
Is that bad?
No.
Okay.
Negative, buddy. Give me your... What series is stronger?
Outlaws all the way.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of found it funny. What was it? Talladega and Mongolia. You had, who was it? Marks, Persley,
Axum.
Baston. Where'd those guys finish that 2-day weekend there?
Jokes.
That's some of the high limit hitters.
Yeah, that's their guys.
Back in the teens.
Yeah. It's the All-Stars. It's the All-Stars with sprinkles.
Yeah, yep. But the All-Stars would be beneficial to sprint car racing in general if it still was All-Stars. Axman would be there, right? They'd have a hell of a field right now. It wouldn't be Zeb and Courtney.
Yeah.
You know, they'd have 9 hitters.
But I mean, Flo's paying a lot of money. Flo's paying a lot of money.
I hear you. But you hit the nail on the head. Flo.
Right.
You know.
Flo wants us a competitive 410 series. Flo and High Limit will take the World of Outlaws down in 5 years.
That's your prediction.
Yeah. They'll pay the money.
So you're going to have all the hitters High Limit.
You take Gravel, Macedo, and Hodenschild to the High Limit series for the money, and what do you got left?
You think they're going to go? I mean, we got to see what the counters.
Too much of my surprise. Too much of my surprise. Too much of my surprise. I think David Gravel would be the first one to go.
Yeah. Yeah. But like you said, you know, you're going to eat crow for 2 years.
You just buy a charter.
Say that again?
Just buy a charter. Buy one of them.
Yeah.
You know, Todd's got that kind of money.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If Flo wants to keep putting the money up, they'll win. I was told by Lanny Edwards a long time ago, I never got it, but he goes, racers are whores. If you got the biggest money, that's where our strippers will go.
Yeah. Yep. Right now, to me, it's depressing. Love sprint car racing, but watching it right now, it's just, man, boy, you get all those hitters together. What a night of racing that'd be.
The match races are sellable, like I was saying. You know, I think that there is some sellable aspects into keeping it split up and then having some, like, shows that are us versus them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll ever get along with that. I don't know if they'll ever play on the same page. The Outlaws caused this whole scenario to happen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because they're stuck up little pansy bitches. That's the problem.
They really didn't know the financial side of Flo.
They should have I knew of them.
Yeah.
I knew of them when this whole thing was going down. I was warning them. What are you doing? Are you stupid? They're punch drunk. They're punch fucking drunk on their World of Outlaw brand that all I have to do is go down the street and no one hears about. They're so stupid, to be honest. They're too big in their little bubble, to be honest.
Right. For me, though, I mean, watching sprint cars since I was a teenager.
It's a little bubble.
The brand is still World of Outlaws to me.
Right, but that brand is so small.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only maybe 200,000 people who feel your way, or there's millions out there who just are so dark to it, you know.
Yeah.
And those people are easily manipulated.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Another question. So, a year, 2, what's the counter going to look like?
We have to, well, at least they have a chance.
What do you think it'll look like? Are they going to pay $500,000 to the winner?
I don't know.
And then pay back through the
I don't know
field
if they have the
with
money to
crazy
keep up with
amounts like
flow.
high
I don't
limit.
know if they have the money to keep up with flow.
Yeah.
That's why I called it
I guess
Walmart
time
to
will
Ace
tell.
Hardware.
Yeah. 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 It's depressing, man. I mean, you get to watch more racing now, but it's not what it could be. As far as excitement goes, you know.
I mean,
yeah, you get to watch more. You're watching them on shitty tracks, shitty prepared tracks.
well, that's what Gravel was saying. There's only so many good tracks, and it's true.
Right.
And hold on. So many good. I can't believe I'm here live. You better send some fucking super chats or some PayPals or Venmos. I'm dying here. But there's only so many good tracks that any series could go to.
Yeah.
So I think in 3 years you'll have High Limit take over everybody if the World of Outlaws can't keep up.
Do you think they fall off the earth, or do you think the Outlaws become the old All-Stars?
I don't know what the Outlaws will do, because at the end of the day, High Limit could get bigger than the Outlaws ever thought of becoming. It's not hard.
Right.
There's so many people out there who don't know about the sport. It's almost easy.
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, it's easy to take over this sprint car thing to the average person.
Yeah, they could also shoot themselves in the foot. The Ty Gibbs thing, I know you thought that was good, and it is good visually. But, when Tony Stewart started racing 410s, did you see him go jump into a half-mile track in a 410 right off the bat?
No, but I mean, I think it's good because we get to show how good our guys are. In a way we
I
did.
understand that side of it, but, boy, that could bite you.
In a way.
Have one of those dipshit taxi drivers take a header and get hurt.
Well, and that almost happened.
You know it. Yeah, that was a high-speed crash.
Yeah, that almost happened.
One other thing, I'll let you go.
Okay.
Would the Outlaws ever tuck their tail between their leg and do? I think it'd be cool to do like a challenge series, or
I think ASC NSC is the way to go. You could do like Outlaws versus Dealers. I said it in my video the other day.
I'm talking Outlaws High Limits.
Well, yeah, Outlaws,
like
Dealers.
Have 8 races. Have High Limit get their High Limit points. Have World of Outlaws get World of Outlaw points. They each put in $12,000. You race for $24,000. And at the end of that 8 races, they have some kind of slush fund where there's a champion to the.
Oh, I mean,
the High Limit.
I was saying you have 30 franchise teams instead of 15. 15 on each side. And then you have these match races. And then like at Charlotte, instead of at World Finals, you have like the top 2 or 4 or whatever from each side. Do like a championship runoff. At Charlotte for 3 days.
Yeah. I think if they did.
Yeah,
8 to 10
that's the only hope the Outlaws have. First of all, that's the only hope the Outlaws have. High Limit's going to destroy the Outlaws because of flow money. If the Outlaws want to survive, that's how they need to work it. In my opinion.
I'm telling you, though, man, I can see High Limit shooting themselves in the foot.
How? You pay enough money, all the teams come to you. That they're all whores.
Bringing the NASCAR guys in.
That's not going to be consistent. It's going to be here and there. They're only doing it now because that's the only way they can get views. If you bring Gravel and Macedo and the big guys are going to take from the Outlaws, business wise at least they're going to take them. I mean, that's what's going to help them sell. But right now, yeah, they're depending on NASCAR connections to sell their series.
Right.
Because that's the only way they can compete with the World of Outlaws. But Flow Racing is actually making good content versus Dirt Vision. So they're getting bigger because they're the media company's actually working.
Yeah. Yep. Outlaws still where it's at, baby.
For now.
Yeah, I hear you.
You lose Gravel, you lose Macedo. What are they then?
Right.
All it takes is two guys.
You think it's those two?
What would the Outlaws have without him?
Obviously.
Right. What would they have without him? Donnie retires.
Not much. You'd have Hod, Selzy, Kofoid.
Is that going to sell seats? I mean, is it really?
Maybe that's what would trigger Shots putting a Chevy back in there.
If Shots put a Chevy in, we could have a race this year, but he's, he won't tell Tony, fuck you, I guess. I don't know.
Is that like not the most obvious thing?
People want to say Ricky Warner.
Look at Tech now running them.
People want to say Ricky Warner's the big difference with Shots.
No, I mean, he still won.
Okay.
Knoxville with the Ford. He won a Kings Royal with the Ford. I mean.
So then it's not the Ford either.
You can't qualify.
So then it's not the Ford. The Ford's not holding, based on what you just said, the Ford's not holding them back.
Yeah, well, when you can't qualify, it is.
Or you can't keep the rear end together.
Yeah.
The fuck was that?
That's just something that happens here and there. I mean, happened to Gravel last year.
What was that? Tell me. What the fuck was that?
What, Gravel or Shots?
Shots. I mean, that's never happened with him.
Yeah, no. Who knows? I mean, you're going to have a part failure here and there.
Right.
Who knows? I think it could have been brand new, and just had a part failure.
Okay. Do you think anyone will call in after you or no?
I don't know. It's pretty late.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty late.
Okay.
Are you still in Texas?
Yes. I might be going to Arizona. Maybe. We'll see. It's a long drive. It's a very long drive.
It'd be interesting to see what they did to that track.
Well, they put up a big barrier now. I mean, I hot lapped a modified there, and it didn't have a barrier, but I guess they got a wall and fencing and everything around the track. It's right there, 30 minutes from downtown Phoenix. Another one of those deals, there's 10 million people right down the road. It shouldn't be.
Back in the day, did you ever go to Manzanita?
I didn't. It closed before I got out on the road, but apparently that was a big race, a big event. Yeah.
Yeah, fast, haul-ass joint.
Yeah.
It's in a shitty part of town, but boy, that was something.
Are you going to?
And then they don't go down to.
USA.
Yeah, USA.
Tucson.
Anymore.
Yeah. Apparently that's a shit scenario down there. Apparently.
Well, I'll quote Cody Jacobs. You're probably going to another dump this week.
Oh God.
Go to Arizona.
Even Central Arizona, you think is a dump?
You'll have to
ask Cody.
A live video. Keep doing those live videos when you're at the track.
Oh God,
those are awesome.
Oh no.
No, dude, you got.
That is where the magic happens, live. At the track.
You know how much that stirred the pot?
And where was it at before I showed up? Like, everybody's mad at me for doing that. It's like, y'all are boring.
Yeah, fuck them.
It's like Dirt Vision and Flow, even both of them. Both sides were boring. They could really make this a big deal if they weren't so fucking boring.
Yep.
Well, all of them trying to protect their little image. They're fucking boring.
Yeah.
I'm just glad Cody put his balls out and David put his mind out, technically.
For sure.
And then in the race car, it's the other way around. Cody puts his mind out and Gravel puts his balls out. But I'm glad they at least did something.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh, and then I had to clip it. The live video. The live video didn't get no fucking views. I had to go up in there and edit it and shit and make it a little video for people to even want to watch it.
No, I was tuned in for both nights. They were great.
Okay, but most people weren't. But
right,
I hear what you're saying.
Well, a couple days after, how was it?
Well, I had to clip them. I had to clip the little segments out from both videos and make them.
Look at the views now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
Okay.
Dirt Tracker and Jeremy Elliott ain't doing that.
Dirt Tracker's doing the best of everybody. I'm a bum compared to him. And
whatever though.
Jeremy Elliott is.
Speak the truth.
He's Jeremy. He's awesome. He's awesome. Jeremy. I'm the loser of the group. Jeremy Elliott, Dirt Tracker, and the Chaz, they don't even consider the Chaz in the same league. They don't even consider me in the same league. I'm a bum who gets drunk and yells and stirs shit up and calls Caitlyn a fucking bitch and gets knocked out by Kyle and pisses everybody off. I'm not even in the same element as these people. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. You know that. That's what they call me, a problem.
Well, keep being the problem.
Why? Why do you want me to be the problem? Why?
Because it's good. It's real.
They don't want real. They want an image.
Well,
they pay for an image. They don't pay people money to make them look like a fucking idiot when they're a fucking idiot. They pay people money to make them look good when they're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I don't want to be too harsh on you, but I mean, if you stuck to the racing a little bit more and didn't have the fun times on the show, it might be a little different.
Well, fuck them. The fun times is the real times.
I hear you.
The fun times was me being live at the track, so it's like, which is which?
Absolutely. Yeah, the track stuff I thought that was great.
I'm just saying, fuck them. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna drink some beer and smoke some weed. All right, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm just I rebuke the weed statement. I do not partake in the devil's lettuce. It is against all God and us shamas. But no, I'm a bum compared to Jeremy Elliott and Dirt Tracker. You can't put us in the same element. It's not even fair for them.
I listen to all three of you.
Right. Well, and you probably enjoy them way more. You enjoy them way more. It's fine.
That's not true.
You could say out of everybody's dick size that I'm the smallest. It's okay. I can take it. It's all right.
That's not what I'm saying.
Who has the biggest one?
Back to my question. Who are you going to talk to if you go to Arizona?
Kyle. But he won't talk. He'll just, fuck you, get away, Caitlyn. Blah.
Will he be there?
I think they did pay for him to be there. I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
We could talk to Brad. I would love to hear Brad's reaction to the Ginger Kitty shirt. And everything. We could give some reactionary content,
Yeah.
My only problem with High Limit is they got a lot of snakes in their pits. It's like, how can I walk around with Tyler Courtney being there? It's like, Am I trying to fight right now? No, but
Right.
you put your dick in everybody. So I mean, what's the problem here? I mean, I'm just saying what everybody knows. I mean, own that shit. If I was Tyler Courtney, I would come out and be like, "Yeah, I fucked all you bitches. Fuck you." And he could be the bad guy. He could be the best villain we ever seen.
Well, I would avoid that one.
That could be a good. Tyler Courtney could be a good villain if he wants to try. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll let you go. I think my sister's here. Are you ready for this shit? Oh my god. Are you ready?
I'll let you go.
Okay. Okay.
If you go to Arizona, have fun.
PayPal, Venmo. No, I'm just playing. But it's a lot of money to get there. All right. Thank you for calling in, though. Thank you.
Later.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a developing situation here. The scene is about to get a little different. Hold on. We're going to get the sister right now. The sister just showed up with some beer. You sent money for the beer. We bought the beer. We're bringing it. Here we go. You better be calling in when we come back, you pieces of shit. We'll put the fucking chat back up. We're coming back with the beer. Here it comes. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. We're back. We're back. The sister says she's not coming. The sister says Chaz, you ever try the seltzer drinks? Yeah, I like White Claw. I really do. I do like White Claw. The sister says she's not coming on the show, but she did say there's two things that could help your sore throat. I was watching your show. I want to help you. She came in here and she brought this. I don't know what it is. It's in a bag. She said this is going to help my sore throat. Let's see what happens here. It's a 6-pack of Miller Lite. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. And then she said this is going to help. What is this? How's a cigarette and 6-pack of fucking... How is that going to help my throat? How's a cigarette going to help my throat? Guys, let's do a live test right now. Will cigarettes actually help my throat? Gummies. You're saying gummies. Hold on. I kind of know where to get those. Let me see. Hold on. We're coming back. You better have your fucking phone ready to call me. If you're not going to call me, I'm done. I'm fucking done. We'll be right back. We're coming. We're running. Oh, God. Can't find it. Can't fucking find it, guys. Oh, God. Oh, we're blowing our nose. We're trying. All right. Let's see here. Earplugs going in. The beer. She said the beer's going to help. Let's see. Oh, God. Did that help? Oh, wow. Wait. Did that actually help? Can you hear me now? Whoa. Can you hear me as a normal Wow. Wow, guys. You can actually hear me as a normal person. Oh, shit. Does a cigarette help? We got to figure this out. Hold on. Let's see here. Live antidote test. Can you hear me better now? Can you? Wow. Dude, the cigarette just straightened everything out. Wow. Dude, are there benefits to smoking cigarettes? Has anyone looked this up? Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh, God. 812, you're on the show. Sorry.
Hey, what's up, chat? So the chat, I've been watching.
Okay.
I've been watching, and the chat really hates NASCAR for whatever reason.
Do you like it?
I don't mind it. The product has gotten worse in the last decade, but it looks like that they're hating on it in the context of using it to promote sprint car racing or dirt track racing in general.
That seemed to be the last caller's idea.
And I'm not quite sure why. Race fans and race drivers are their own worst enemies. You want all these things for these series. You want them to be successful. And you want tons and tons of drivers to come in.
Well, they may be just listeners of my shows. Because in my shows, I kind of talk about the history of sprint car racing and stock car racing. It wasn't that connected prior to Jeff Gordon. And then after Jeff Gordon, it has been very connected. I always make a statement on how, a sprint car driver in 1984 named Steve Kinser, you may not know who that is if you're a NASCAR fan, but
I'm a dirt track fan more than a NASCAR fan.
But what I'm saying here is in 1984, Steve Kinser won the King's Royal for $50,000 at Eldora cash, and in that same year, Dale Earnhardt Sr. won $47,500 at Talladega. So this sport, in comparison to NASCAR, used to be very big in the profiteering department. So the star of our sprint car, and this is why I'm saying I agree with what you're saying in the modern thinking, but I've also spoke about these changes on how we went from what I just explained to you. How did this sport go from paying just as much to NASCAR to being pinocchioles on the pimple of an ass? How did that happen? It don't make no sense.
I agree.
And I have somewhat documented on my shows how that happened, the businesses involved, the people involved, and a lot of the things that I think, as I said on my show, killed the sprint car star. Because, sorry, I'm a little hoarse, but
no, you're good. You sound like death, though.
I know.
Holy hell, dude.
Hell, this is death. It's fine. The cigarette helped. I'm surprised. I didn't see that coming, but the sister said, "Hey, smoke a cigarette. Your throat will feel better." I didn't know how, but I guess it happened. But regardless, I think that a sprint car driver being in NASCAR, for example, wasn't popular in that time period. It only became popular after Jeff Gordon. Or I joke and say Cole Trickle. They made a movie about a sprint car driver from California who, couldn't find his way to Indy. He wanted to go to NASCAR racing. He started racing a Man in Black. That's Cole Trickle, 1990. Apparently, that movie's based on Tim Richmond, but he's from Ohio. He raced Indy cars, apparently. But somehow, in 1990, they had this fairy tale driver that was supposed to represent Tim Richmond. His name just happened to be Cole Trickle. He wasn't from Ohio like Tim Richmond. He was from California. He drove sprint cars. He didn't have a chance to Indy, even though Tim Richmond went to Indy. But somehow they predicted Jeff Gordon, in my opinion, 4 years in advance. This is why I call it systematic and corporational, especially when you include DuPont in the equation. But
yeah,
exactly. You equate the DuPont family into what I'm explaining, and it makes a lot of fucking sense. But it also has to do with
DuPont family is responsible for a lot of dumb shit.
Well, it also, 100%. It also has to do with Formula One and kart racing and IndyCar. It's like a 3-generational trick that I describe on my show, and I say ever since that point, stock car racing or NASCAR racing or Cole Trickle killed or Jeff Gordon killed the sprint car star, because since that point, the star of the sprint car racing industry has been a driver from sprint cars that goes to NASCAR and becomes successful. That is not what Steve Kinser had to do in 1984 to be paid more than a NASCAR driver, or, in my opinion, to be idolized by the fan base as a bigger star. There was no stock car drivers or IndyCar drivers more popular than Steve Kinser in sprint car racing in 1984. It wasn't like a
there's
fad.
probably still no driver more popular than Steve Kinser.
Well, and he's like the last king, because if you think about it, what Donnie Schatz did was just as dominant as a Steve Kinser. But did he receive more fame than Tony Stewart?
No.
Or Jeff Gordon?
No, not even close.
But Steve Kinser did. It didn't matter what some guy did from dirt racing in stock cars to be the guy. You know what I'm saying?
And
like that don't mean like what David Gravel's doing right now should be as famous as Kyle Larson right now.
I don't necessarily agree with that, because I don't think that Gravel would be held as high as he is right now without Brad Sweet leaving the Outlaws. So,
well, but we didn't get to see that. And see, that's my bigger issue with it. You know, there's a video. Hold on, I didn't plan on bringing this up. There is a video that made me think of Kyle Larson today. I don't know if you have.
I was going to bring up USAC because your chat doesn't like USAC either, which is hilarious. But
USAC has changed its identity. It really has.
It definitely has. It's not the same product as it was 10 years ago.
You see these 4 lines?
Right.
I would actually argue that it's much worse.
So
it's like the world of Outlaws. They're relying on their brand more than their drivers.
Yeah, but all the best non-wing sprint car drivers still aspire to be USAC.
I don't think Thomas Meserol does, and I think he's probably one of the best. I think he did. But when he was in USAC, he didn't have the success that he wanted.
Well, I don't think T-Mez is that good of a driver, but that's a whole nother topic. I don't want to talk about it. But on the Kyle Larson deal, we'll get on the T-Mez here in a little bit before we get off this subject about sprint car racers and Gravel and Sweet. Gravel's glad that Sweet's gone. Yeah, I think that you're right. Who knows what would have happened if Sweet was on the tour. Brad Sweet he's a bad motherfucker. He won 5 straight. Brad Sweet's good. He ain't no slouch. But
yeah,
I think the inherited issue with sprint car racing, and my whole point here as to why some of the viewers, because I feel responsible for them being mad at NASCAR people. My point here is that I think that Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, probably the only 2 really that are that good in NASCAR that could compete on our level. Those are the only 2. Hold on, let me say this. Out of all the drivers in the world, Verstappen, F1, IndyCar, World Rally, whatever, out of all the drivers in the world, there's only 2 drivers who could keep up in Wing 410 sprint car racing right now with our guy. Keep up and win. That's Christopher Bell. That's Kyle Larson. Can you not agree with that?
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Not just in NASCAR, but everybody.
I would actually argue that
outside of our sport, period. You can't come in here if you ain't Chris Bell and Kyle and keep up. You could be Ty Gibbs and look okay for a lap, but
I mean, even Christopher Bell, he's not as good as he was, man.
I mean, but I'm just saying, out of those 2.
Those two are by far the best in versatility. Versatility.
Well, no, I'm just saying that sure. Max Verstappen or Chase Elliott can't do what they do.
For sure.
That's all I'm saying. So,
I mean, for sure we know about Chase Elliott because, I mean, he couldn't even get out of the, F main or G main or whatever at the Chili Bowl, so.
We'd say for a lot of people, Chase Briscoe, who was an average driver on dirt, who went to NASCAR, he was very average, even in a local competition. Chase Briscoe never won anything.
I'm from Indiana, so.
Yeah. Chase Briscoe won what, like 2 Bloomington races in his whole career or something? I mean,
Yeah, well, he was one of those
maybe.
guys that he was running the triple every week.
Right.
He was running Bloomington Friday and then running Paragon
But he
on
was never
Saturday and then going up to
successful on
Kokomo on
dirt.
Sunday.
I would not consider Chase Briscoe a successful dirt track racer.
No. I mean, I'd
At
consider him
all.
only moderately successful in NASCAR, and that's after how many good
Right.
rides has he been in
So
that he hasn't succeeded in?
here's why I point this out. Is because when I say Max Verstappen or anyone but Kyle and Chris can come over here and do outlaw, high level dirt racing shit, they're the only two who can do it. And that's even equating Chase Briscoe, who's got experience. I think Chase Briscoe's a good example of how you don't have to be that good to win NASCAR races or to have a NASCAR ride. And I'm not trying to be mean to Chase because I like Chase a lot, but as a person, but as a driver, if we're just looking at you not as how I feel about you as a person, if I look at you as a driver,
Mm-hmm.
Chase Briscoe is the ultimate example of how you don't have to be that good to look good in NASCAR.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a product of what NASCAR's
but that's
done.
what I mean, right? Like we both
Yeah.
know how many thousands of drivers, not just hundreds. Because like you said, I mean, 2 wins, I think, in that whole period. You say he's running 3 days a week in the best money can buy with Kevin Briscoe. No disrespect to Kevin, because Kevin Briscoe's amazing.
He was.
Comparison.
I do believe he was one of the ones running.
Well, I'm just
Friday,
saying.
Saturday, Sunday.
We're talking about there's at least 1,000 drivers in this country of all the divisions, of all the classes. There's at least 1,000 Chase Briscoes. I'd say 10 or 20 when you equate the
sure.
I'm just saying. So we have an example with Chase Briscoe at least that you don't have to be that good to win a NASCAR Cup race in today's society.
I agree with that. I honestly agree with that. What kills me about them being harsh on NASCAR though is without the promotion of those NASCAR drivers, I mean, yeah, they have flow money, but like what would high limit be? Like how many more eyes does that put on the sport and make it better over time?
Well, ever since I got into the sport, started learning it more, that's my biggest argument, is no one within the sport in a promotional aspect is actually promoting the sport. No one. They only need Kyle and NASCAR's help because they suck at doing their job.
I agree. That's on all levels too. That's not a NASCAR problem. That's not a sprint car problem. That's literally, you could go to a fucking quarter midget track,
right,
and you'll see the exact same shit.
Right. Any track that is around 1 million people, if your maybe 2,000 seating stand is not full, you suck. Period.
Yep.
Period.
Everybody's gotten too greedy. Everyone is too busy promoting themselves to promote the bigger.
Dirt Vision's happy with 5,000 people in the grandstands, and let's just say high number. I'm going to say this is high. 100,000 people watching your live stream. So let's just say Dirt Vision got their hunger satisfied at that number.
I mean, yeah, and
do you know what I mean by that? Like, they're not trying to eat more. They're focused on their fan base and the people who are keeping them alive. They're not trying to get something bigger or better. They're satisfied with eating that food.
And Man, you said they.
What I mean by that?
You said they're going.
Go ahead.
They're helping they're worried about their fan base. I don't even World Racing Group in particular. I don't think they care about their fans that much. Which I think that's where high limits.
If they're stupid
they
enough,
don't care.
If they're stupid enough to not recognize that every sprint car fan going forward versus World of Outlaw fan, sprint car fan, high limit, flow racing, because they're going to try to introduce it as a thing and try to expand it. You know, sprint cars is going to be a class. They just want to own the class first, just like NASCAR. Mm-hmm. They promoted NASCAR until they owned stock car racing, until USAC got bought out. You know, USAC stock cars used to be a thing until ARCA got bought out. Now they are stock car racing because they're the only thing that's representing it. So when I say that slide right there, we're talking about the same thing in a way, because you're talking about one slide that understands, I think, how small it is. You know, how little this sprint car thing is. And like you said, to the local little tracks, if you could just try, you should be able to get, if you promote it correct, you know. But that's back to why I think the fans are mad here, is because I think, and I promoted the fact that NASCAR kind of promotes that. They still want to, even though we know Chase Briscoe is a starting quarterback on a NASCAR team. Look at it like this. Chase Briscoe's a starting quarterback on a NASCAR football team, but we know of thousands of other people who are a better quarterback. That's crazy. Yep. When you tell an average sport fan this shit and the money and everything on how you get there, it literally discredits them. But it's like this NASCAR thing being like a starting quarterback thing. It's probably like the biggest psyop I've ever seen in my life by a media entity.
I mean, they've definitely.
It's such a fucking.
They've got it down to a science.
But it's an illusion. It's not true.
Yeah. I mean, every level of racing has it.
Yeah.
And that's because every level of racing works the exact same way.
But every level of sports do not. There is not one NBA, NFL, MLB player there because they have more money than another guy who scored more touchdowns. This is why the NFL can pull from impoverished areas and the NBA and all these sports and make somebody wealthy for performance on the field. There's no other sport that acts like this at all. And the public don't know much about racing. So when they're that ignorant, you could pull this NASCAR fucking trick off. Because we know it's a bullshit. Yeah. It's a lie.
Yeah.
So this is, once again, why my fans or people in the chat section might talk about NASCAR negatively, because I point this out as a media fucking psyop. That's the only way to describe it. How do you have millions of people viewing these guys as NFL quarterbacks when they're buying their way there, or they're getting lucky, or they know somebody, or they're Asian and they get in there and they drive for diversity like Kyle did?
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. I'm just saying I don't think modern dirt racing works without NASCAR, and I don't think NASCAR works without modern dirt racing either.
I think that modern dirt racing could live fine without NASCAR, but I don't think NASCAR could live fine without dirt racing. How?
Sorry, I don't think big time dirt racing would be okay without NASCAR, because without NASCAR you don't have the TV stations. You'd never.
Hey, hold on.
Never
Slow
had
down. Hold on. That 1984 Kings Royal before NASCAR was a thing was on ABC. Yeah. I know it's hard to believe a world like this, but yeah, before NASCAR was even a NASCAR, I mean, sprint car racing, in my opinion, was better off. They were getting paid just as much, had the television time. Steve Kinzer was a guy. You know, I'm just telling you the truth, too. I mean,
oh, yeah.
We could survive without NASCAR. We were actually doing better, I think. When we were worried about our sport. Hold on. Back to what we're talking about. When we were worried about our sport, our promotion scheme wasn't sending a driver to NASCAR to get popular. Our promotion scheme was promotion, making the sport bigger, showing more people our cars, showing more people our drivers, showing more people our tracks. That was promotion. But it's not anymore.
And people that try to promote in that way get completely shoved to the side and ridiculed in every which way, because
if you get too big, you got to get in your spot. That's why I said this all connects back to IndyCar racing, because they were starting to become a bigger entity than Formula One. They took Nigel Mansell from Formula One in 1993. He left F1 to come kart racing in America. So when kart got too big for the britches, they got checked. IndyCar split up, NASCAR rose, and that's how you know what NASCAR is today. Without that happening, NASCAR's still battling this kart thing, you know. But now NASCAR's viewed as an entity that is above, superior of all American motorsports, even though we know thousands of guys better than the drivers who are throwing touchdowns. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's crazy.
It really is, and
that's crazy. There's only one person to blame for that idea, and that's the person promoting that idea. That's why they come ever so often and replace a sprint car guy. You know, that's my issue with Larson. You know, Larson didn't come up till Gordon went down, even though Juan Pablo and Jeff Gordon did a driver swap at Indianapolis in 2002. But then Larson came in under the Ganassi 42, which was the same car that Juan Pablo had drove. But then Gordon went away and Larson came up. So it was like a driver swap, just once again, 6 years in advancement. Kind of interesting how they know this. But, sorry, I talked too much. I got to calm down. I'm going to get kicked off YouTube.
Oh, no, you're good, dude. It's your fucking channel, dog.
No, I'm just saying that's when even Days of Thunder was correct. If we want to get extremely conspiracy theory, Illuminati-ish, I mean, how far do you want to go? Hold on.
I mean,
how far you want to go?
I mean,
okay, hold on.
I have to be at work at 11 p.m. tomorrow. So
hold on. All right. You got a little time. Where you're California time, right?
No, I'm in Indiana.
Well, you're still kind of good. So then it's 12:28 or 1:28 where you're at.
It's 1:28.
We ain't got much time. So you heard me. You heard Illuminati, a little Illuminati. All right, here we go. First of all, Tom Cruise is the Jesus Christ of Scientology. Let's get that out of the way. Anyway.
Yeah.
We know this. They believe this. There's people who spend millions of billions to believe this as well.
Does that mean Cole Trickle is the Jesus Christ?
So I tried to make this point. It got me in trouble. Hold on, look. So I already made the joke earlier. How the movie was 1990 and it's California Sprint Car Guy couldn't make it to Indy and came to NASCAR. In 1990, they did that with Cole Trickle. Movie's supposed to be on Tim Richmond. Tim Richmond's from Ohio. He went to Indy cars. He drove everything. It's like AJ Foyt to Jeff Gordon. They're two different entities of career path. But Cole Trickle's career path, very similar, we'll say, to Jeff Gordon's. Okay, we'll just say that. 4 years in advancement. They had no idea, even though Hendrick funded the movie. I mean, Penske got involved with NASCAR in 90 with Rusty Wallace. He was the other guy who was famous on the show or the movie. They just did that by coincidence. We'll see. Okay, fine. So
Gordon was still racing sprint cars and midgets at that time.
He was like a fucking nobody. Yeah, he was no one. Who could see this guy coming? 4 years.
Because he was very mediocre in midgets and
they were filming the movie in like 87, 89, you know. I mean, funny enough, weird coincidence here. Maybe this is why I'm anointed. My birthday, I don't care if I give this out, it was June 21st, 1987, okay? That's a Sunday. June 21st, 1987. So, coincidentally, the last win of Tim Richmond's career, back to this movie, was at Pocono on June 21st, 1987. Just saying, coincidentally. And then he died. And then they started making the movie. So they really started making this movie in like 89, 88. Jeff Gordon. Who is Jeff Gordon at this time in 88? No one.
I know he didn't really. I mean, yeah, he was probably in sprints or midgets, maybe something below that.
But for instance, they predicted that. Let's just say they predicted that, right? Crystal ball Illuminati. Then Jeff Gordon comes along. He's running the rainbow car, right? You know, that 24 DuPont fucking, what was it, the 5 colors, or what was it called?
The Rainbow Warrior or whatever.
Yeah. So he's running that car. Kind of eerily similar to the, green and yellow Code Trickle, a rainbow kind of look. But we'll skip that part. In the movie, Cole gets a new sponsor, Superflow. It's the orange and white 46. I don't know if you remember this. I studied this too much. This is why my favorite.
I haven't seen Days of Thunder in so long.
I studied it. Well, this connection of the Illuminati Master Christ is why I know this. So he gets a new sponsor in the movie, for instance. And for the whole movie, we've only seen him in this one scheme. And he changes the scheme for this Daytona event. And then they're racing. And then in turn 4, Cole runs into the side of Rowdy and they flip. And basically, that was the end of seeing Rowdy race in the movie. He was done. And then the next time Cole races again, outside of his little scheme there with the Superflow car, he's driving, or when he wins the championship or race, was the Daytona 500, he's driving for Rowdy, who is injured and cannot race anymore. So, in real life, just saying this for the record, Jeff Gordon comes in, races well. For the first time ever, the Rainbow Warrior is done. It's going to be a flamed 24 now, completely different scheme. The debut of that scheme was the Daytona 500 on FS1. We're off of turn number 4. Dell Sr. makes a mistake. And Ken Schrader, by the way, the guy who won an outlaw race and went to NASCAR, no one cared. This is my greatest example of how no one cared about a guy going to NASCAR. I mean, Ken Schrader did it. Just so happened Ken Schrader also took over for Tim Richmond before Jeff Gordon came along. Ken Schrader hits Dell Sr. in the door. Dell Sr. dies, obviously. Jeff Gordon goes on to win the championship that year. Some other things happen. And then the driver swap. I talked about it earlier. Driver swap with Jeff Gordon, Juan Pablo Montoya, who was running F1 at the time. A few years go by. Chip Ganassi is going to start a NASCAR team. Juan Pablo Montoya is the driver, 42 car. They race for some years. And then for some reason or another, Earnhardt Ganassi is formed. DEI merges with Chip Ganassi Racing. And then year 2 in, they're going to get this driver named Kyle Larson to replace Juan Pablo in the Earnhardt Sr. inspired race team. And even though Rowdy was in a hospital, just saying the last time on the track. But look at this in cap here. When Cole came back and was racing in the movie, he was racing this cocky piece of shit in a blue and yellow 18 named Russ Wheeler. And then just so happens when Kyle came into the scene of NASCAR racing and started running NASCAR events, he was running against a cocky little bitch in a blue and yellow 18 known as Kyle Busch. So I'm just saying, coincidences, there's a lot of them, but regardless. It's a lot of coincidence.
You are right. It all very eerily connects.
I even had an argument with ChatGPT about this. And ChatGPT basically admitted at the end, it was like, yes, all of blah, blah, blah happened, because I went through all the steps with ChatGPT. And ChatGPT was like, yeah, there was a coincidence here, and yeah, the movie was about a California, and yeah, Jeff Gordon's from California. And I went down all the steps I just did with you, and ChatGPT was basically like, yes, basically it listed everything that happened. And then at the end it was like, but Days of Thunder was a movie, and in NASCAR was real life. That's basically what it said at the end of the day. ChatGPT was stoned. It was gone.
And now that ChatGPT is permanently damaged.
They definitely started paying attention then, because they're like, oh, there's a human. Hold on. There's a human out there that made ChatGPT stop. Who was that guy? Who stopped that guy? Oh, who is that?
I want to hit the USAC point real quick before I got to get off of here.
Okay.
Because I saw something in chat earlier, or maybe it wasn't in this chat, maybe it was somewhere else. Someone said AJ Foyt was racing for 6,000 back in the day for USAC, and now they're running for 4,000. Damn if that's not right.
That's back when it was more respected. USAC Silver Crown races.
Biggest issue.
Dude, Silver Crown races were 30,000 to win in the 70s. AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti didn't run those races because they love dirt. They ran those races because they paid big fucking money, buddy. You know, that's why AJ and these guys ran dirt back in the... Do you think AJ Foyt really wanted to strap on a leather helmet and run 150 around a dirt track for the love of the sport? What?
No, absolutely not.
No, he did it because it paid real fucking money. You know, it was a big paying event. So yeah, 100% I would agree with that, but that ties into my point overall, unfortunately. But yeah,
I think USAC I don't know. It feels like at least here in Indiana, man, all these dirt tracks, they have such good sprint car drivers. Like if you just go on any week to Putnamville or even Bloomington, when it's not a USAC week, you see some damn good racing, and then those guys just leave it on the trailer when the USAC guys come in. But like the USAC guys are racing for $500-$600 more than what a weekly show pays.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
You're talking about the Ricky Lewises of the world without the domestic violence case in Ventura.
I mean, shitty human aside, Ricky Lewis is a damn good show to watch.
Oh, I mean, at Paragon, I was there last year. I don't know if I went to Paragon last year. We actually introduced a couple from France we had met the night before to come to the track. And they had never been to a dirt track race in their life. And they were blown away, absolutely blown away. Ricky Lewis did win. But they were blown away with just the stock cars. They were fucking more hippity over the damn stock cars there or whatever. Super stocks.
Paragon is wild, dude. Paragon is great. I love Paragon.
Well, isn't there supposed to be a 410 racer this year? A wing car race? Or
I think there's a couple, actually.
It's a high limit race
I'm
there?
pretty sure. No, it's not high limit. It's part of that fast deal.
Oh, the fast series. But 410's wing there have to be fucking crazy. Non-wing, they're setting the car halfway down the straightaway. I mean,
yeah. I plan on, because I'm pretty sure that fast race is, I don't know if it's on a Friday or Saturday. I know it's a doubleheader with that Lincoln Park race, but I'm planning on going to that Paragon show. And then I think Paragon also has Power Eye.
Yeah, that might be what it is.
I think they have both.
Right.
And I plan on going because, man, non-wing 410s there.
Yeah, wing's got to be fucking crazy. Wings.
I mean, Hornets there go damn fast.
Yeah, they do.
That place is deceptively fast.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know.
Can you answer the chat for like 30 seconds? I gotta pee, and then we'll let you go. I can listen to you, but I can't hear you. Okay. Answer the Indiana guy. Are you? Here's my question before I leave. Are you going to the 100,000 to win Hornet race at Kokomo? And what do you think about that shit?
I want to go to it just because I used to race, and I used to race Hornets on asphalt, not on dirt. But I think that's going to be absolutely insane. I think that's a great idea, and I don't know why people haven't done it in the past. But yeah, I do plan on trying to attend. It all depends on work. But I do plan on trying to attend that 100,000 to win Hornet show.
Will it be sold out? Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Will it be sold out? Do you think it'll be a sold out crowd for that 100,000 to win Hornets race?
No, and I think that for one reason.
Why?
The weather. Because that's just coming up here in a couple of weeks at the end of April, yeah?
I'm not sure. I can look it up, though.
Here,
I'll look it up, too.
Real quick.
XR is the one putting it on. That's the halfway problem, right?
Yeah,
people don't trust them.
I don't even. And they have every reason. Oh, it's at the beginning of April, April 18th and 19th. Yeah, they're not going to have a sold out crowd for that. The problem with Indiana is it's either going to be beautiful, perfect weather, or it is going to be so fucking cold and so wet that they're not going to be able to do anything.
April 18th and 19th, 100K to win compacts is the XR schedule. You think that won't even race? You're thinking that's a rain out?
I think it'll race. But I don't think it'll be sold out just because if it rains, it's going to be so cold that no one's going to show up. But if it doesn't rain, then the weather
like what, maybe 8,000 between the front and the back.
They redid their bleachers over the off season, so they might sit more now. I'm not sure though.
Let's just say maybe 10. You're telling me 10,000 people won't show up for a 100K fucking compact race? I mean, there's got to be 10.
I honestly don't think that. And I don't know if you've looked at general admission tickets for that.
Are they expensive?
They want $40 a head.
No, let's see it. I gotta see this. Woomba Nationals. Let's see. Where do you buy the
April 19th?
Available now.
On,
Grandstands. I'm looking at it. No. Grandstands. Let's see. Available now. We're clicking available now. You weren't lying. $40.
Yeah, that's how much I paid for head per head for World of Outlaws there.
Wow.
That's where World of Outlaws is going to go wrong. They've let High Limit go to all these quarter-mile bull rings.
Well, but I mean, if you're not
willing,
all I mean is like if you're not willing to pay $40 to watch 100,000 to win fucking compact race, what will you pay $40 to see? I mean, Tyler Courtney's fucking, OnlyFans. I mean, what? It's only 40 fucking bucks. I mean, fuck, you're seeing 100,000 to win compact race.
Well, but I'm
it ain't
closer to Louisville than I am to
on.
Indianapolis.
It ain't 12,000 to win World of Outlaw. It's 100,000 to win. $40 is cheap. When I had to pay, I think it was $93 to go to the million. That made sense to me. They're paying $1 million. They're paying 100,000.
I want to go to it. Just I think compacts probably race. They probably race the best around here, stock car wise. Modified used to, but then it's the same 5 modified guys
with the money.
Yeah. No offense to Tyler Nicely and all them, but they've ruined modified racing in Indiana.
Okay, with their money.
Yeah, it's big money shit, and it used to be fun to watch when it was 36 cars going for 20 spots in an A main.
Right. Yeah. The rich people ruin everything.
But I mean that compact show is
NASCAR. Continue.
That compact race it's going to be good. I mean, just because they capped it at 200 entries, I think it was.
Yeah, it's already done. It's already
they're
full.
Sold out.
I should have entered the fucking race. Fuck. I had a shot. Everybody's got a shot when you hear fucking compacts.
I mean, you'd be surprised because the money in compacts kills everybody too.
Well, and then their most alluring show is that fucking mayhem thing. That's pretty crazy.
Is that the one that
it's
the stock cars in Iowa?
The cop stocks. No, they're not Iowa cars.
Oh, the Vics. Yeah, the Crown
Vics. 100,000 to win Crown Vics, dude.
That Crown Vic class it's so awesome.
They just did that Dominator, that 100 to win modified race this last weekend. I guess people were bitching about tire wear, but Jim Chisholm won that 100K. So they've technically maybe paid one of them out. I don't know. Is that a maybe now? Is that to deal with XR? I don't know. Are they paid? Are they not paid? I don't know. But there is a result sheet that says somebody won 100K. They posted it, obviously. But then you have that Wabam, the fucking 4 bangers, the 125K, 100K stock cars at Sports Park, and then that Crown Vic's gonna be. I guess they're not even full with that right now.
Well, the stock car thing is still a while away, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in November, but you would think there would be at least 200 Crown Vics trying to enter that race before. I mean, right when it's announced, 100,000. It's a lot of fucking money, but I think it's like $600 to enter these events. So that's how they make their money. I mean, you think about what was 600 times 200. I mean, that's 120K at least. You know, that's paying for something.
You know, looking at the entry list for this, the compact show, I think there's one Kokomo guy on here.
Well,
Maybe
and that's
two,
my
'cause
point. That's
I
my
don't know
point.
the length.
If you don't think you could beat the best, are you about to spend $600 to find out? That's my point.
And I mean, that could be another reason that they don't sell it. I mean, they might sell it out, but
I find it hard to believe that those stands should be empty. They shouldn't be. That's a hell of a
I don't think they'll
race.
be empty. But I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be like World of Outlaws. And I mean, I went to the last World of Outlaws race they had there, and I mean, you could hardly move around. It was so bad.
Why do you think the slower classes don't sell out?
Just because Indiana's that's where I go racing all year, and I know.
So you're saying it could be a million? It could be $1 million to win. It don't matter. It ain't a sprint car.
Yeah, exactly. People don't even care about wing sprint cars here.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. It's fucked up. Yeah, because, dude, the best race I think I've seen in the last 10 years, video or not, has been the Gas City All-Star Race COVID year, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
That was an amazing race, you know.
That whole week was really good.
Yeah.
Circle City was a bit rough, but that's because the rocks.
But wing cars, and this is what I say to people all the time when they ask me my favorite tracks. I'm always responding with, like, what do you mean? Do you mean, like, favorite sized track? Because, like, quarter-mile wing sprint car racing is just the epitome of action.
Yeah.
I can't compare
totally
any fucking half-mile or 3/8 to a quarter-mile sprint car race, winged. The action you get in a quarter-mile wing 410 Premier National Division race, you can't compare it to anything else, I don't think.
I personally don't think you can even compare like a half-mile wing race to a quarter-mile non-wing race.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, I still think the wings are better on the quarters, for the record. That would be my argument.
I would say
that would be my argument, is that the winged 410 on a quarter is better than the non-wing. It's just faster, it's quicker, there's more action. That's just what I would say.
I would say there's two exceptions to that, and they're both in Indiana. But
where?
And I would say
where would there be a better non-wing? Putnamville ain't really got a fair wing chance. We'll see what happens with the alterations at Bloomington, because there are some.
Yeah, because they added back that 5 degrees of banking.
Yeah,
that's going to be.
I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. I know the guy. I have him as a friend on Facebook. He's an Indiana guy, but he's run lightning sprints forever. He took over the track. They just had a regime change at that track, I believe, right?
Yeah, because I believe it was USAC running it.
Yeah, now somebody took it over and they dug the bank back up and they're widening the track. Like, old Bloomington's winged races were good. The newer ones suck. And I think that's because of the banking and the shit they took out, you know.
I remember I first went to Bloomington in 2012, and I was freaking floored, and then I didn't get to go back until 2017, and I think they took out that 5 degrees of banking in 15, I think.
Right.
And it's not been the same since.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And they want
That's why I say the
they're
old
wanting
sprint
30
car,
bucks.
the old wing stuff looks fucking nice. The new shit, what's this, you know?
Yeah, I mean, even if I think the Outlaws were there in 2015, I want to say was the year that the Outlaws went to Bloomington last. I think Steve Kinzer won it, or maybe it was Donnie Schatz. It was one of those two.
Well, my saddest memory from Bloomington is I went there this last year for the Indy 500 week. And while I was at the hotel in town, it was like this old school hotel bar place, restaurant. And nobody in there knew who Steve Kinzer was. Nobody.
That's a problem, you know, because I've noticed that too in Bloomington. I mean, they have a road named after the damn guy. If
nobody
you go down
knows who he is.
Yep, everyone's just like, it's just another road. Then you go right under Kinzer Pike.
Right, and they have no idea why it's named that.
And no one knows who Mark Kinzer is or Jordan Kinzer. I mean, hell, Jordan Kinzer raced non-wing weekly there last year.
Yeah. I mean, Steve Kinzer, obviously, he was a wrestler there too, I believe. So it's kind of shows you how small it is once again.
And then you have all these people that say, oh, well, I heard that name in the 80s. And it's like, well, why'd you just quit going? And they always give some reason, like, oh, the newer promotion or whatever, or, you know.
If they've heard of it, most of them have just never went, ever. And the same thing in Chico. You know, Bloomington and Chico's very similar because they're in a college town. You know, Bloomington is Indiana University. They got all these new people coming year after year, and they can't get them.
And the other problem with Bloomington is they don't reach out to them either.
Right. That's why I say lazy promotion.
I'm hoping these new guys get the people in there that they need, because like you have so much potential sitting literally right there.
Right.
That whole college campus. I mean, and you could look at it.
You could at least make Steve Kinzer be a big fucking deal. That's all you could do.
Yeah. I mean, you could just go and show them videos of hell, anything racing at Bloomington's pretty good. I mean, even Mod Lights and Legends are fucking sporty there. I mean, you can't like.
Right. But it's lazy promoters. Well, see, here's the problem. Modern promoters aren't looked as people who actually promote the track. They're just looked at as the people who can get the cars to come. We'll pay more money. We'll put this money in the field. It's all back gate promotion. No one's worried about the front gate anymore.
That's true. And well, the other problem is the people that are worried about the front gate. Yeah, you might have $10 general admission tickets, but then you go up to the fucking concession stand and, I mean, they take the rest of your fucking paycheck to get a hot dog and a Coke. And
well,
it's insane.
I was more so saying like the regular promoter now is worried about the track, the payouts, whereas the front gate promoters going in the towns, spreading the word about the track, telling people about the track. No one's doing that. You shouldn't be able to go into that town and not know what the track is if somebody's promoting properly.
I agree with that. Bloomington in that regard is special because the town, as far as I understand, doesn't really like that the track is there. Even though it's been there for, it's 100 years old, I believe, at this point. But I mean, the track's been there forever, and like the town has a crazy noise curfew on them.
Fuck it, I would sell that. I would be like, we're the outlaws of the town. They shut us down, motherfucker. I'd be up in the place promoting that aspect.
I mean, if someone in the chat wants to correct me on that, but I don't think it's silly. I'm still pretty sure that they have a crazy. It might even be earlier than 11 o'clock noise curfew, but I mean that's like a very. I don't want to say it's the rich side of town because it's not like it's not.
It's the old side.
Yeah.
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 It's old side.
And I don't, and they have some rules that they can only run Friday nights, and that's why you don't see, like, even when the Outlaws come to town, like, or, you know, All-Stars or whatever 410 wing sprint series they want to try next. That's why you don't see them on a Saturday. And I think them being only running on Fridays, I think that kills them. Because, I mean, to have a successful Friday program, you have to start it at 5 o'clock, and I don't know if you've ever driven in Bloomington.
I could assume all the actual teams are not on that side of the town either.
Yeah.
Right, so that fucks them.
But all the teams are, you know, the ones from out of town, they're getting there at noon. And, you know, then all the fans have to sit in, you know, an hour's worth of traffic on their way home, and they don't get off work till 4:30.
Right, so it's almost impossible.
Yeah, and then I know we went to Bloomington last year for a weekly show, and it was ridiculous. I mean, we got there during the heats, and general admission for this weekly show, the only special division on the card was mod lights, and they wanted $30 to get in there per person, and then if you wanted to pay with card at the gate, it was a like 3% transaction fee, and then the concession stands up until this new promoter did not accept card at all, so you still had to go get cash, and the ATM fee was like $7.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
By the time it was all said and done, and that was me and my wife on just a normal Friday night.
Wow.
By the time it was all said and done, we spent like $70 to go to fucking Bloomington Speedway.
Oh my God.
For a weekly show.
Wow.
Oh, and you can't forget that we got fucking bathed in dust.
Oh yeah. I believe that.
Because they watered the track surface itself, but they didn't water like just up over the berm in 4.
Wow.
So I mean, it was a damn dust storm.
Wow. Unbelievable. Well, now it makes sense as to why Bloomington is where they are.
I mean, and when we went, I mean, half the grandstands were rotting out. That was Paragon's issue too. Before Spikers got out of there, was that everything was just run down.
Right.
It felt. I mean, I'm all for old school feel and all that. Like, I like the concession line system that Putnamville and Bloomington have, but like, oh my God, it felt like the building was gonna fucking fall on you.
Oh God. Wow.
And I've been to some shitty tracks, man.
It don't sound good.
It's crazy.
It don't sound good.
These people, I don't envy track promoters at all, and I don't want it to sound like, you know, I'm hating on track promoters, because they do have a hard job. I mean, especially in economies like this, it's super fucking hard to do what they do.
Right.
And I get that. But at the same time, like, you can't expect me to come spend $30 ahead to, feel like I'm sitting in 1972.
Oh, God.
That's
Paragon's at least upgraded. Paragon has upgraded.
Paragon has upgraded, and I meant to go last year, but the weekend that I had carved out to go, it rained.
Oh, God.
But I do plan on going this year for the fast race or whatever.
Yeah.
One of the 410 races they have there. I want to go to that.
Good. Is there anything else? Do you want to call it so you can wake up at 11 or be at work at 11 or?
Oh, I got to be at work at 11 p.m. tomorrow.
Oh, God. So. Okay. Are you done then or no?
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, just try to support local tracks, chat.
Yeah.
Don't.
I was at Paragon for a reason.
Okay, you do a damn good job. Even I think the last guy said we need more videos from the track. I agree.
Oh, God.
Your videos at the track are awesome.
We'll see if we can make it to Citro, Arizona. That could be interesting. We do a live from there. Oh, God. Walking through the...
Is that high limit or is that...
Yeah, it's
Outlaw?
high limit. It's high limit, so we could be there fucking with our ginger kitty shirt on, walking around. It'd be gold.
You're just asking for it now.
I ain't got knocked out yet. We'll see what happens.
I'm sure he won't even be there.
All right, we'll see. I may be there. We'll see.
You get better, Chaz.
I need to.
Hopefully you don't sound like dog shit for the rest of the week.
It's been bad, I'm sure. All right.
All right. See you, Chaz.
All right. Bye. Whoa. All right, we are done. We're too messed up. We gotta go to sleep. Venmo, PayPal, if you want me to survive. We're about to quit. If not, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. We'll catch you next time. I'm gonna go cry because I didn't make no money tonight with my sore throat. Thank you for the $50 super chat. You saved my life. Bye.